From generation to generation, heroes like these have poured out their blood and sweat and heart and tears for our country. Because of them, America is strong and safe and mighty and free. Because of them, 2 centuries on, the Star-Spangled Banner still proudly waves. For as long as our flag flies in the sky above, the names of these fallen warriors will be woven into its threads. For as long as we have citizens willing to follow their example, to carry on their burden, to continue their legacy, then America's cause will never fail, and American freedom will never, ever die. Today we honor the heroes we have lost. We pray for the loved ones they left behind. And with God as our witness, we solemnly vow to protect, preserve, and cherish this land they gave their last breath to defend, and to defend so proudly. Thank you. God bless our military. God bless the memory of the fallen. God bless our Gold Star families. And God bless America.
死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望の匂いだ。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなにガチンが多すぎて。
お父さん。
あかん。
ドナルド君はまだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ、万歳、ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
何度スライドまで。
出ろ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてね。この世界、季節にいけるかな。昔グレートだと、大きにまたグレートになるかな。あのさ、有名人なら誰かのマンコを掴んでいいさ。そうそうそうそう。見放せるで。
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of Unit 199. Happy to see all of you here on Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to all that served, all that gave us the opportunity to do what we do. For me to sit here like a complete retard and make money on the internet, it's only because of you. So I thank you so much for that. Hello, everyone on Rumble, everyone on Kick, and everyone on YouTube. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see all of you. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to catch up on. That's right. We salute the fallen. Absolutely, we do. 1,000%. Thank you to all that served this country, says Phil. Hail to all my fellow veterans, says Rantopia. Speed Force is in the house. Space Rebel, Hill Refs, Lady Air D, Makara. Let's see. Chief Boxing Boa, what's up, man? Kingdom Hearts Gamer in the house. Let's see. Modern Warfare 2 lobbies were tough. Sorry, I'm late. Can you start the stream over? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I absolutely can. Let's go ahead and do that right now. No, but yeah, so we have a lot to catch up on. There's a lot to do, and I'm not sure where to jump in. I was going to go live yesterday, but I had too much going on. But we're here now. We're live, and we've even got this report right now. Fake news is already trying to draw a divide between Trump and Vance. The fake news claims J.D. Vance is considering abandoning his 2028 presidential campaign because he's isolated from President Trump. Yet another obvious attempt to drive a wedge and division. We love J.D. Trump loves J.D., and that's not changing. J.D. is working hard for America. He'll figure out 2028 when he gets to it. Why would he abandon 2028 if he was isolated from Trump? That wouldn't make a lot of sense. This is just more nonsense from the fake news. This is what they do. They have to invent stories because they don't have any real stories. That's where we are with this. So don't listen to all of the nonsense out there. Fran Forsythe for 10 says, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Fran Forsythe, for the super chat. Thank you so much. Little Jim Taylor says, fuck Fry and the whole Minnesota government. Man, Jacob Fry is getting cooked today, and we're gonna talk about it. Old Salty Dog says, pre-gayness grift tax. Thank you, Stormbreaker. All hail Cobra Commander Jeremy and King Trump. What's up, Stormbreaker? Hail to you. Dingaling Lang for $1. Thank you. Rock Bottom says, today is the feast day of St. Floyd of Fent. Happy feast. That dude, the George Floyd memes are out of control right now. It is so funny. Quartering Source pretends says, please remember the fallen. I usually listen to the song The Parting Glass every Memorial Day. Thank you, the Quartering Source. MacGyver says, let's go. BJ the Vigilant says, happy Memorial Day. Old Salty Dog says, Veterans Day is for all vets. Today is for those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Please remember the difference. Jer, Mod Lives Matter, Chat Lives Matter. Hail the 199. Alex Arrow Cave says, happy Memorial Day and Star Wars Day. Meta PC 199. Cole Hauser says, hail Jeremy, my brother. Happy Memorial Day to all my American friends and family. Praise Allah. And Jeanette with the gifted membership. Thank you. Speed Force says, hey, Jeremy, Chrissy was talking crap again yesterday. Here's a timestamp. 2340 of Simpcast yesterday. If you're talking about that clip where she was talking to the Keanu chick, I mean, listen, I've made several comments about Chrissy and what she's done and how she's handled the situation. It's only right that she responds. So I didn't really care about that. So Chrissy, whatever she said, and I listened to it, it was fine. Like, she was basically just saying, like, she doesn't fundamentally understand why this has happened. And I totally understand that. I got no issues with anything she said. However, what's funny is this Keanu chick was on there, and she multiple times claims she has no idea who I am. And this is the problem I have with this elitist mentality of people. They sit there and they pretend like, well, who is this person? I don't know what this is. Or I don't know what that is. I don't know what's going on. Who? D-Day Cobra? Who is that? Well, Keanu, you tell me, because you fucking follow me on Twitter. I don't follow you, but you follow me. That was the only thing I took from it, was this chick was like, who? D-Day Cobra? I'm not sure who that is. You follow me. Okay? Like, all you got to just say is, like, give your opinion. That's fine. But to be dismissive and pretend you don't know who I am when you fucking follow me on Twitter, that was the thing I thought was the funniest aspect of the whole thing. I didn't think anything Chrissy said was out of line or wrong or whatever for in reference to me. It is what it is. It's the internet. I've made public comments about her streams, and it's only right that she responds. So it is what it is. But yeah, this was ridiculous, man. Like, I don't know who that is. Well, you follow less than 700 people, and I'm one of them, but you don't know who I am. Again, you can have whatever opinion you want about me, but the dismissive nature of, like, pretending you don't know who someone is, pretty funny. Anyway, what is that? Bo? Is that it? Hey, Jeremy, wouldn't be opposed to Trump putting JD on the Supreme Court. There's been a lot of rumors about, like, who he's going to appoint to Supreme Court and all of that. I have no idea. But I think that's probably not on his radar right now. I think JD needs to be the top choice to run in 2028 as things currently stand. But we'll have to see how we're a long ways away from that, though. So we have to remember we're a long way away. PGMD over on Rumble for 20 says, "Hail, God bless all American military branches, and rest in peace The ones that have fallen, salute. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hail to you. Rubio is another one that should be a front runner. Absolutely. No doubt about that. But look, man, over the weekend, obviously there was a lot with President Trump and Iran, and the situation pretty interesting. One thing that's funny is two people that were very unhappy with President Trump and whatever deal he's trying to work out with Iran, Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz, were very, very upset about this. They were very upset. And if there's going to be two people that are upset, those are two people that I want upset about it. Now, we have this clip right here. Trump fires back or hits back at his Iran critics. So I have not heard this clip yet, so let's check it out.
Let's bring in former Assistant Secretary of State for George W. Bush and former Naval Intel Officer Robert Charles. Robert, thank you so much for joining us. So we have this deal that appears to be emerging, which could be huge news. Still, Iran always promises a lot and delivers very little. So we won't know everything until it's completely set in stone. But the details that could potentially be emerging sound like they could be a really big deal, like Iran giving up its nuclear stockpile, reopening the Strait of Hormuz. And the president said on Truth Social that it would ensure Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. So what are your thoughts on what we know so far?
Look, if this actually happens, it will be world changing. There are four basic issues. One is get rid of the nuclear material. The second is open.
And that's what's at stake right now. World changing. If Trump can accomplish what he's trying to accomplish, it's world changing. Think about that. Do you think it's simple to make world changing decisions? It's really complicated when we're talking about world changing decisions. You know, I know a lot of the TikTok and the YouTube Shorts crowd, and they're like, Trump just needs to get this done immediately. It's like, that's not how the real world works, you idiot. If it was simple, everybody would be doing it. There's a reason that no president in our lifetime has ever dealt with this problem directly, because it's not easy.
In the Strait of Hormuz. The third is end their support for Hezbollah, which would be massive in its own right. And the fourth, which people are not talking about, but I guarantee is in the four corners of that paper, is getting rid of or eliminating their long-range ballistic missile program, which could hit, if it was allowed to continue to develop, could hit New York with a conventional weapon. So you've got to stop all four of those. It will be an inflection point for the Middle East and frankly for the whole world. And you wonder what would have happened back in the 1930s if Churchill had been able to convince FDR and others to essentially defang and disarm the German Nazis. And I think this is parallel. I mean, what you're doing is disarming and ending a threat that could be existential for Europe, the Middle East, and even the United States.
There was a lot of criticism and concern over the weekend about what could be in this deal. And the president responded this way on Truth Social, saying, if I make a deal with Iran, it will be a good and proper one, not like the one made by Obama, which gave Iran massive amounts of cash and a clear and open path to a nuclear weapon.
That's right. Barack Hussein Obama did nothing but throw money at the problem. Joe Biden or his handlers did nothing but throw money at the problem. That is what these clowns have always done. Trump is addressing the problem directly and dealing with it.
Our deal is the exact opposite, but nobody has seen it or knows what it is. It isn't even fully negotiated yet. So don't listen to the losers who are critical about something they know nothing about, unlike those before me who should have solved this problem many years ago. I don't make bad deals. He says he doesn't make bad deals, but still, of course, this deal hasn't yet to be made. And he has some very high standards as to what will be in it. So if this does...
Jeremy, you see the Greek government calling out Hollywood over the Odyssey. Yeah, I mean, I saw something about that. I'm gonna be honest with you. This whole people are upset that there's not Greek people in the Odyssey is a virtue signal. No one really cares. It's just a virtue signal. That's all it is. I just don't want them to go out of their way to race swap, which is what they've done. But for these people are like, where are the Greek people at? Think of the Greek people. It's a fucking virtue signal, okay? How many Greek people were in Troy? Everybody loves the movie Troy now. How many Greek people were cast in that? You know what I mean? Like, it's a virtue signal. No one really cares. They're using it to pretend that they actually care. No one actually gives a shit about that. What we do care about is literally race swapping, making an active decision to go out of your way to race swap. Not only race swapping, but race swapping for an ugly woman to be the most beautiful woman in the world. It's fucking ridiculous. But I have seen people like, oh, what about the Greeks? And you're like, shut the fuck up. That's just a virtue signal.
Doesn't cross the finish line. What happens next?
You know, Carly, I have really three comments. The first is the president is doing this exactly right. As someone who was an assistant secretary of state and worked in 2 White Houses, you have to be methodical. You don't go, ready, aim, fire. You go ready. You go ready, aim, fire. You don't go ready, fire, aim. And I think that's what he's doing. The second point I'll make is I happen to be running for governor right now up here in the state of Maine. People make up nonsense every day, and you just have to understand critics abound. And as I think Theodore Roosevelt once said, it's the man in the arena that matters. Everybody else doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, the last big thing is this is a deal that has to come to fruition. The president is making it clear to Iran and to all of our allies for the purposes of future Abrahamic Accords, for the purposes of peace, this has to happen. And if it does not happen, my suspicion is there will be a decisive military response. And although some people think that would be good, I personally would like to see this deal come to completion.
So the president also held a phone call with several Muslim and Arab leaders on Saturday and apparently said that if this deal is reached, he wants these countries to sign on to the Abraham Accords and normalize relations with Israel. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham wrote this on X saying, if in fact, as a result of these negotiations.
Yeah, cry, Lindsey Graham, you worthless piece of shit. We want you to cry. We want you to cry all day and all night.
To end the Iranian conflict, our Arab and Muslim allies in the region agreed to join the Abraham Accords. It would make this agreement one of the most consequential in the history of the Middle East. Tell us what makes this potential scenario so important.
Yeah, I would put it up there with the bringing down of the Iron Curtain if this were to really happen and happen in the way that it appears to be headed. The trajectory is such that what you do is you eliminate the primary source of instability in the Middle East. Iran has been the primary source of instability, not just in terms of supporting Hamas and supporting Hezbollah, but they underwrite terrorism all over the world, and very particularly in the Middle East, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Yemen. If we get rid of that threat, there is no real big major block to bringing these countries back together and creating, as the president started to do in his first term, an extraordinary alliance, almost a patchwork, if you will.
The problem is like everything else I talk about, like Trump can pull this off. He absolutely can, and he probably will. It's not about, I don't have any doubts about that. What is going to happen when Trump is no longer in power? That's what I worry about. And I don't know the answer to that question. And nobody else does either. That's the problem. We do not know what happens. And, we'll see what happens. But I'm very much worried about what happens after the fact. Gator, thank you for the 10, 20, 33 kicks over on Kick. Pre-Dawn Corpse with 12 kicks over on Kick. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys. Hail to the chat, as always.
Of countries that recognize there is a better future than sustained conflict, and essentially making the sectarian conflicts come in second to the common interest.
So I've seen people saying, like today, they're like, well, Trump didn't go to his son's wedding. What did he accomplish over the weekend? It's like, this is the problem with social media, dude. Like, everybody thinks they know everything. They think they have every answer. Like, well, Trump didn't. What exactly did Trump do? Like, oh my God, man. What do you think he did? Like, what do you think? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, it's obvious how stupid these people are when they make these comments. Let me see here. Dark Red Knight says, you've been following the Hassan stuff. He may be cooked. I have, and I have clips of that to pull up. So it will be good. Hill Rep says, who is the D-Day this D-Day Cobra you speak of? Just trolling. Yeah. Who is this guy that I follow on Twitter? Like, why the fuck do you follow me if you don't know who I am? And again, it's completely understandable for somebody to not know who I am. But I'm pretty sure I've been on streams with that chick too, on Chrissy's streams in the past. I'm pretty sure they've covered me on Chrissy's streams and that chick has been on the panel. And so the dismissive nature of like, you know, it's the classic, whenever there's, whenever a guy is interested in a girl and you know that the girl has a boyfriend, you intentionally say the guy's name wrong. And then she has to correct you and then you dismiss it. That is a classic move right there because you're essentially just trying to make him irrelevant. Okay. And the moment that you do that, so like say this girl is dating a guy named Johnny and you go, yeah, your boyfriend, Justin, Jimmy, whatever. Justin, you say Justin. She goes, oh, you mean Johnny? Oh yeah, whatever. At that point, you've already destroyed him. You've shown that he means nothing, and making his girlfriend have to correct you shows that you don't care. Okay. And so that's somebody said it right here. Summer said it. You got mean girled by that chick who's named after Ted. Yes. So it's mean girls bullshit. You know what I mean? But yeah, it is what it is. I don't really care if she doesn't know who I am, but I was just like, doesn't she follow me? I mean, I know who she is. Mainly because she's tied up in all this drama that's always going on with Ricada and all this other shit. New York gamer girl Crazy Asian says Robert's mustache looks like a bat symbol. Hey, that's a very good assessment. Thank you for the super chat. John Jones says the Odyssey not having specifically Greek actors is the least of the movie's problems. This is exactly my point. Like, it's a virtue signal for people to whine about that shit. There are so many things to complain about this movie. When I see people standing up and going, where's the Greek representation? You're like, you don't actually care about that, and nobody else does either. Like, there are massive issues with this movie. Identity politics to that level is not something that anyone actually cares about. It's a virtue signal for anybody out there. I don't even know who I can't even name Greek actors off the top of my head. I don't give a fuck. What I do care about is the race swapping. I care about the accents. Those are some of the major issues, but the casting is the biggest problem because of Ellen Page being cast in this movie. Ellen Page. You know? But like anybody that's out there, like, and they're just virtue signaling, like, we need more Greek actors, you know, like name 20 Greek actors right now. Go ahead, off the top of your fucking head. Just do it. And it's just a virtue signal. So anybody that I see complaining about that, I'm rolling my eyes about that one. Now, if you're memeing, that's fine. But if you're genuinely serious about that, then I don't take you seriously. Mean Sugar says, Google Bert Coffin, 85-year-old Navy vet, working Uber Eats to pay medical debt. Bert has a GoFundMe. Let's show this veteran some love. Donate, share. I'll have to check into that and see. Again, I never like to share GoFundMes and stuff like that without knowing anything about it. There's so many people out there doing things, so I'm not going to just pull up a random GoFundMe. I appreciate it, though. Predon Corp says, Jeremy, you said you'd play my clip next stream. Appreciate you, Bish. Sending it again on Twitter. Hail chat. Hail to Predon Corpse. John freaking Murdoch says, hey, Jeremy, I just realized I don't know who you are again. Why am I sending you money? Yeah. Why are you following me on Twitter? Why are you sending me money? You know, pretty interesting, isn't it? Thank you, John freaking Murdoch. Okay, next up on the list. Hang on just a minute. This is a very interesting time. Well, first, actually, before we move to the next topic that I had, PBD and the guys broke down that, you know, with this Iran peace deal that's 95% done, who are the biggest winners and losers? Interesting discussion, to say the least. Gunslinger says, I demand John Stamos stars in the Odyssey.
The president is trying to broker one of the most important deals we've had in the last few decades, and that is to get Iran to get rid of the enriched uranium. And it's been very complicated. A lot of people, if you go to Kalshi, oh, this thing's not going to get done till next year. It's not going to get done till September. It's not going to get done till July. I said it's going to get done before June 14th. And a lot of people disagreed, which I agree with them. I understand this is not an easy thing to get done. But then we got stories that all of a sudden, the president announced he will not be going to his son's wedding. Wait, you're not going to your son's wedding? No. It's not like it's his fourth wedding. You don't go to someone's fourth wedding. Normally, you just don't attend the fourth. Like if somebody invites you to your fourth wedding, what do you say? Hey, man, listen, I'll may make it to the fifth, but I'm skipping the fourth. This is the second.
Yeah.
You typically, if you have a friend or son, you make the first and the second. From there, it's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
So the president decides not to go to the second wedding that Don Jr. is having.
Second wedding is whatever, too. Like, let's be real. I mean, the second wedding is whatever. And I think that's I know they're trying to make a point that, no, the second wedding is whatever. They're trying to put emphasis on the fact that it's so important, that Trump passing it's a big deal. Second wedding's whatever. I mean, listen. You show up for your friends and your family on that first wedding. Second wedding is like, dude, I'm out. First of all, men don't even like going to weddings, especially like men that are already taken. Like, yeah, single guys love going to weddings because you usually have drunk women that are all in their emotions and it's really, really easy to hook up. All right. But a married man does not want to go to a fucking wedding. Are you kidding me? Like, ladies, I'm just telling you right now, do not ever for 1 second think that a man wants to go to your fucking wedding. He doesn't. All right. The only exception is if that man is looking to hook up with these women that are going to be all emotional and feeling like, oh, this is so romantic. And then you're just like, they're drinking and you just take full advantage of that. But like outside of that, no man wants to go to a fucking wedding. End of discussion.
And then aside from that, while this whole thing is going on, Ivanka Trump, rumors come out that there's an assassination attempt on his daughter. Wait, what? So he's missing the wedding to his oldest son. His daughter's getting an assassination attempt. And is this a story on Ivanka's assassination attempt? Go ahead, Rob.
So per the New York Post, the man behind this plot was an Iraqi national who the Justice Department had arrested earlier this month for his alleged ties to Kataib Hezbollah and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The New York Post reports Mohammed al-Sadi had targeted Ivanka Trump to avenge the killing of his mentor, top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, in 2020. A former deputy military attaché in the Iraqi embassy tells the Post, after Qasem was killed, al-Sadi went around telling people we need to kill Ivanka to burn down the house of Trump the way he burned down.
The fact that Trump has not talked about this publicly speaks volumes about how frustrated and pissed off he was. You know how pissed he was about this. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I haven't heard Trump talk about this publicly, unless I'm wrong, but I haven't heard it. And the fact that it's not something I've heard, it speaks volumes how pissed off he probably was about this.
Our house. Al-Sadi reportedly had a blueprint of Ivanka's Florida home and even posted a photo of their house online saying, I say to the Americans, look at this picture and know that neither your palaces nor the Secret Service will protect you. We are currently in the stage of surveillance and analysis. I told you our revenge is a matter of time. The Secret Service says the Secret Service does not confirm or comment on matters involving protective intelligence. The Secret Service closely monitors information and intelligence related.
So that happens. While that happens, you see J.D. Vance going back to the White House. You see conversations about them going into the Situation Room. You see all these stories about the president going back and they're going to have a meeting. Everybody's seen all these clips of what's going on. Something's about to happen. And then you get President Trump's tweet that says the following. Rob, if you want to put up this tweet. So then you see this here. I'm in the Oval Office at the White House, where we just had a very good call with President Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud of Saudi Arabia and United Nations Arab leader, UAE. I'm not going to read all these.
That's how I was when I read this tweet. I got to a couple. I'm like, I'm not going to read. Not going to read that. Not going to read that. You could tell PBD figured it out real quick.
Called with President Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud of Saudi Arabia and United Nations Arab leader, UAE. I'm not going to read all these names. Bunch of different people. It'll take me 17 minutes to cover all these names, but we'll skip.
A lot of
Concerning the Islamic Republic of Iran and all things related to memorandum of understanding pertaining to peace. An agreement has largely been negotiated, subject to finalization between the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran, the various other countries as listed separately at a call with Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu.
You know what? Big enough super chat on main event. I might try to get Beardo to read that tweet right there.
Israel as well, which likewise went very well. Final aspects and details of the deal are currently being discussed and will be announced shortly, in addition to many other elements of the agreement, Strait of Hormuz. Rob, if you want to open up a Twitter and go to my Twitter account, I'll kind of break down what the rumors are of what is going to be covered in the deal. And this is what you're hearing, okay? So a lot of noise between two nations, okay? Iran has agreed to give up a stockpile of highly enriched uranium. Iran currently has 400 kilograms of highly enriched uranium, which is enough for 11 nuclear bombs. These are the rumors of what's being negotiated. Pezeshkian said, yes, we're willing to give it up. U.S. has began to face of unfree...
Who could correct him if he got it wrong? That's a good point. I'm not sure who could do that.
Iran's $6 billion to $30 billion in cash. Strait of Hormuz will open up. Iran won't charge a penny for the ships going through. No $2 million toll that they'll collect. The U.S. agrees to relieve some of the sanctions. War ends on all fronts with Lebanon. U.S. forces near Iran to withdraw. 30 to 60 days to finalize the nuclear deal. If true, this is a massive victory. Here's my winners and losers of what I think is going to happen. And Tom, I'm coming to you first with this one here. Number one winner, American people.
You mean, so again, we're hypothetically, like, if this deal goes through, the American people win? Wow. I mean, I was told that President Trump was working for foreign countries right now, and then he wasn't worried about American people. This wasn't America first. You know, if this does go through, do you know how good America is going to benefit from all of this? This is what Trump, and again, this is why you should never doubt Trump. He's got a plan. I know that a lot of people don't think that he plans things out. And for the most part, like, he doesn't plan a lot of stuff out, but there are certain things that he does plan out, and he is very tactful in what he's doing.
Oil prices will likely fall. Shipping insurance costs drop. Inflation pressures eases. Number two, the president's a big deal to get this done. 3 global markets, 4 stock market, 5 Gulf states, temporary tension eliminated. I have them both as winners and losers. I'll tell you why in a minute. IRGC gains legitimacy. They're not Venezuela. Venezuela, they came in, they picked up Maduro, they're gone. You couldn't do that with Iran. You killed 50 of their top leaders, including their supreme leader, and they still stood up, right? Mm-hmm. So whether anyone likes this or not, including myself, we have to say they gain some legitimacy. China's a major winner. Strait of Hormuz hurts them the most. They can spin this to their people that the deal got done after the president left China. But guess what? They desperately need this aid. Russia relies on Iran being a bit more stable. NATO nations were starting to worry. They were pansy shivering about having to help the U.S. They're also the biggest losers. I'll cover that here in a minute as well. Losers, the Iranian people. No one knows what the IRGC will do.
And this is going to be a point that will probably be hyper-focused on from the media and Trump's critics and a bunch of libertarians and all of that. So let's establish one thing up front, okay? Just like when I was talking about with these people virtue signaling over Greek people not being cast in the Odyssey. You didn't care about Greek people before you could virtue signal off of it, okay? Same with the Iranian people. A lot of these people didn't care about the Iranian people until they could virtue signal off of it. But that said, I think that Trump has put his best foot forward without just, could Trump just destroy everything in Iran? Of course he could. What I think, and again, this is just my speculation, I think that Trump anticipated a bigger uprising from the Iranian people once all of this happened. And I don't think that the uprising has been as strong as they expected it to be. And there's probably a lot of reasons why that didn't happen. I'm not blaming the Iranian people for that, but I think that they probably expected a bigger uprising, and ultimately that didn't really seem to happen. And so I don't know what Trump is supposed to do in this situation other than wiping them off the face of the earth, which is not really the move that's going to be beneficial. So I don't really know what the answer is, but this is definitely something that a lot of people are going to hyper focus on for sure. And listen, I would love to see, the people of Iran, be released from this regime. But I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Do to their people after the deal to their own people. Their media outlets will say they beat America. Can you imagine, like, you're in Iran, you know how vicious these people are, and you have to sit there potentially for 10, 20 more years because we realized Reza Pahlavi couldn't do it alone. Reza Pahlavi couldn't do it with the Trump administration. Now the people are stranded. They're saying, what about all these times we went in the streets? What about the 30, 40, 50,000? The numbers we've heard, low 3,100, high 100,000. The Iranian people are the ones that are the biggest losers of this because IRGC still stays in control. Number two, Obama administration. This sounds like a much stronger deal than Obama did. Obama couldn't pull this off, so this is not a good look for them. Netanyahu, he wanted regime change or collapse for his legacy, but Trump wasn't on the same page.
Netanyahu, I thought he ran the country. I thought he worked, I thought Trump worked for him. How could he be a loser in this situation if he runs everything? That doesn't make sense.
At the end, NATO was exposed. They showed they don't have America's back if shit were to hit the fan. Terrible moment for NATO nations. Reza Pahlavi, another year of not being able to pull it off for his people. Trust me, I get a lot of shit from people that are fans of our peace. And I cannot believe you say this, but then you would be amazed how many thousands of messages of people who support him and love him and like him simply say, just because I love him and like him doesn't mean he's the leader I would vote for to get this thing done. So they are one of the biggest losers out there as well because regime change and collapse that he promised is not around the corner. Gulf states, the IRGC will still control a neighbor capable of firing rockets at them. Iranian proxies and non-state actors, Hezbollah, Houthis, and Shia military will not receive the same funding flow that they had before. Defense contractors, of course, war hawks. War continues. They make more money. This is not good for the military-industrial complex. Oil producers benefiting from high prices. A lot of these guys were selling high prices even though they didn't need to. Political extremists on both sides, they lose. The woke right especially loses because they wanted Trump to continue losing. They don't want this thing to happen. They don't want it to be a quick war. The woke right.
He is right about that. He is absolutely. And we're going to talk about some of that here. I've got this next topic we're going to talk about kind of leans right into that narrative and their narrative that they need Trump. They need the illusion of Trump to be failing in order for them to be successful.
Right wants this war to continue, to be able to say it's another Afghanistan, to be able to say it's another one of those things. And Trump still keeps his promise. He's not a war guy. So he's not a person that wants to go into war. He wants to get deals done, right? Democrats, they desperately needed this to continue heading into midterms. They will hate this deal. Don't worry. They'll still find a way to blame Trump. But independents won't fall for the BS. Democrats and a woke right will follow suit, but not reasonable independents who can think for themselves. So aside from that, my prediction stays that this gets done before June 14th. And then after that, we have the greatest 60 days of positive distractions around the corner, which is President Trump's birthday, June 14th, 4th of July, 250-year anniversary, World Cup, June 11th through the July 9th.
It's going to be cooking. It's going to be cooking if we can get this done. Nandy for 50 says, so Beardo reads all the Gulf nation leaders' names. Oh, it's going to be fun, isn't it? Hail to you, Nandy. Thank you for the support, as always, brother. I saw someone in the chat, and again, TDS detected. Let me see if I can find it. Trump said, all I want is freedom for the people. Liar. Liar. How could he be a liar if he says, all I want is freedom for the people, and he's attempted to do that? I don't understand your logic. Like, were you saying that he just never even tried? Like, Trump, if you want to talk about what Trump actually said, Trump said that Iran can never own a nuclear bomb. That's what he said. Now, everything else is just added to it. But, yeah, I mean, TDS is a hell of a thing, man. It really is, man. He was going red typing that, Jeremy. He was all caps and everything, man. He was very frustrated. And I was like, calm down there, little guy. Calm down.
19th, everybody will move on, and then they'll be off to Cuba. They'll be off to Greenland. They'll be off to affordability. They'll be off to midterms. They'll be off to all these other issues that he has to go through. Love him or hate him, he continues to show how fluid his mind is and that he can change his approach depending on whether things do go his way or don't go his way. Future look.
That is 100% accurate. This line right here, love him or hate him, he continues to show how fluid his mind is and that he can change his approach depending on whether things do or don't go his way. That is classic Trump right there. Classic Trump. He knows how to maneuver in any situation that he's in. He's better than anybody at it. And this is why he is so successful. So that is fantastic right there. Let's see. East Coast Toasted Boy says, you should look if Keanu, not Reeves, posted or mentioned or clip it about her not knowing you, then retweet her post with a screenshot of her profile showing she follows you. Yeah, it's on Alyssa Clip's channel where she said that. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. She's not even relevant enough for me to worry about. But I saw that she was like, who is D-Day Cobra? And then I'm like, you literally follow me, woman, whoever you are, like you follow me. So, but it's really not that big of a deal. As far as what Chrissy said, I didn't think Chrissy, like, she's just dealing with the situation to the best of her ability. I don't necessarily think it's the greatest way to deal with it, but as I said, if you like Chrissy, you should support Chrissy. You should give her all your money. You should subscribe to her, and you should be at every live stream she has. Because everybody can support who they want to support. Kevin Spears says, as a disabled vet, I was sickened by the libtards protesting at Arlington Cemetery today. Yeah, it's expected from them, but my God. Yeah, these people are crazy, man. These people are absolutely nuts, but they show you who they are. And that's the most important thing, is just let them show you who they are. And going there and I didn't see any video of that, but if that's what they did, let them show you who they are. Let me see. Why get into a war and accomplish nothing? What are you talking about? Did you not just hear everything I've said? Oh my God. You know what? I'm not even. There's no way you're that stupid. There's no way. You've got to be trolling me. Mark of Reality says, married taken men don't want to go to weddings because it reminds them of what happened to their nuggets. Thank you, Mark of Reality. Grapdarts Hammer says, over in 3 months, forever war tax. Yes, forever wars. What's up, Zwani? East Coast Toast Boy says, also, the outrage of no Greeks being casted in the Odyssey is legitimate. They came from Miki because there was no hot guys in it. Well, yeah, like, who are some prominent Greek actors? Okay. Who are some prominent Greek actors? Okay. Global icons and leading roles. Greek actors in Hollywood. Jennifer Aniston. Do you want 85-year-old Jennifer Aniston in the Odyssey so she can cry about Trump and tell you how you should get your 15th booster? Theo James, John Stamos, Rita Wilson. You want Rita Wilson in the Odyssey? Huh? Billy Zane. I like Billy Zane. Like, I don't. Who are the rest of these people? I only know some of these other people. I can't even name some of them. Like, again, so this idea that people are virtue signaling, like Greek actors in the Odyssey. Shut up. There's a lot bigger problems to worry about than you virtue signaling off of some shit that you never cared about before. Elwing Secret Garden says, no, don't let Beardo read those names. He will bring shame and start World War XII. Jimmy Ray says, liar tax. Epic Reader says, liar tax, all caps. Josie says, American Ace Channel brought up some damning evidence that Trump wants the uranium because it ties Obama, Hillary, and Kerry to the sale of it. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, there you go. We'll see if that happens. That would be interesting. Isaac says, happy 6 years of sobriety for George Floyd. Prayers up for George Floyd. Really incredible 6 years, 6 years drug-free. Really, really amazing stuff. And I guess we need to go ahead and talk about the fact that Mayor Jacob Fry posted this. Today, we remember George Floyd, who was murdered by a former Minneapolis police officer 6 years ago. That moment changed our city forever. Ladies and gentlemen, the comment section is wild. Look how many comments. Look how many comments you're dealing with, okay? That ratio is glorious. Holy crap. 28,000 comments. There's this AI George Floyd account that I'm trying to find that's really freaking good, if I can find it. AI George Floyd. I can't find it. I may have to look it up on YouTube. Give me just a second here. I wasn't sure we were going to talk about this, but let's see if that's it. Okay. All right, so let's talk about this post first, and then we will get to it. George Floyd, 6 years sober. Jacob Fry posts this, and he's getting absolutely destroyed. Asmund Gold says, imagine crying at the casket of a career criminal scumbag who was driving on fent and pointing a gun at a pregnant woman. You're lucky the Trump administration is full of pussies, or you'd be getting tried for sedition and the best case scenario of capital punishment. Oh my goodness. Absolutely destroyed by the Roach King. Now we're getting, let's see, right here, okay? So you've all seen the who is she, like CBS or NBC? But she got memed after the shooting that happened the other day in Washington, D.C. And so here we have Jacob Fry crying at the golden casket of St. George Floyd.
Joy comes in the morning.
What is that?
Troubles they don't afraid.
Dude, this is one of the most embarrassing moments I've ever seen. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a more embarrassing moment. This man cried at the golden casket of George Floyd.
Joy comes in the morning. Troubles they don't last always.
Now, you may ask yourself, Jeremy, what good came from this horrific situation? And I will tell you that a lot of good came from this situation, okay? A lot. Namely, the memes. And in celebration of 6 years of sobriety for St. George Floyd, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you one of the greatest movies ever made. Fenta Stella, starring St. George Floyd. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a crucial moment in history. Here we go.
Holy shit. The Fent doesn't exist within the third dimension. The Fent is a dimension.
Droid, my nigga, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's been here this whole time, contained by gravity, Chauvin's third law. The fence is as old.
Chauvin's third law. Are you kidding me, dude? Chauvin's third law.
The fence is as old as space-time itself.
He sent us here to find the Fent.
They didn't send us here at all. The Fent did.
The Fent is sentient?
It's been trying to tell us something, Bill. I need to get back to the Hellcat shuttle right now.
I'm on my way.
Oh, man.
I can't fucking breathe in this suit, nigga.
Holy shit, nigga.
Only one man can bring the Fent back home. And you know what? Historically accurate.
Get out there and save the world, nigga.
This part right here was insane, dude. Woo! So there you have it. St. George Floyd, 6 years sober, and the internet's doing what the internet does. And yeah, everybody's roasting the hell out of this guy. I don't understand how this dude. I don't know how he's comfortable being such a laughing stock. He's got to be getting funding from somewhere else. Now, don't forget, this is the same guy that's pandered to the George Floyd community. Okay, he's pandered to them, and this is what they did to him when he didn't tell them exactly what they wanted to hear one time. So they wanted him to support the full abolishment of the police department, and he said, "I can't support the full abolishment," and so they shamed him out of there. Oh my God, man. Like, I just don't, it's so embarrassing. But yes, absolutely, James. Where's your comment at? You are correct. We lost Splash Mountain because of this. We lost Splash Mountain because of this. One of the greatest theme park attractions ever. And we lost Splash Mountain because of social justice garbage. Insane. Like it has affected every aspect of life. All of this shit. And we're sick of it. We're absolutely sick of it. Ugh. But yeah, man. I would like to scroll the comments, but all right, hang on. Be careful here. Let me scroll the comments, but I'm not going to do it on stream right now. Holy shit. There's some memes I can't show. Let's see here. You'll have to scroll a little bit to see some of the things that are being shown here. What is this? I don't even know what this is. This is what happens when a once American city is captured and Islamized. As a matter of fact, that's interesting because I want to talk about that.
Don't back down from our values. We stand with our immigrant neighbors. Over the past year, I've been working closely with city leaders, our emergency management team, and community partners to prepare for the possibility of a federal immigration response, something that, frankly, no city should have to brace for. Now, we haven't yet seen extensive militarized deployment here in Minneapolis, but we have seen it elsewhere. We've seen what happens when federal agents show up in neighborhoods, when armored vehicles roll down streets, and when families are torn apart. Let me be clear, we are prepared. In Minneapolis, we have your back. you will be protected and respected by our city employees, regardless of your immigration status. We live by those values through our separation ordinance, one of the strongest in the country. It's a city law that says our employees.
I can't take any more of this. This kind of is going to lead me into my next topic that I want to talk about. And it's something that I've been thinking about for a while. And this obviously leans right into that, because the truth of this is, okay, with the growing kind of the anti-Israel narrative that's been happening and all of that, it's really made me realize, like, what the hell is actually going on? You know, what is actually going on? Why is this Israel topic so prominent in our discussions? Why are so many podcasters so passionate about this? Why are there all these deep dives and these theories? Why are they labeling anyone that doesn't, you know, line up with them? Why do they label people an Israeli shill if you don't, you know, just say like, yeah, you think you're retarded? And you have the people like the Tucker Carlsons of the world that have seemingly moved to a pro kind of Islam narrative while moving to a pro or an anti-Israel narrative. Well, I think that anybody with any level of common sense, I think we can all agree that, you know, Islam is not compatible with anyone with any, you know, level-headed thinking. And the last thing that Charlie Kirk said to me when we were playing Halo 3, you know, he says, Jeremy, Islam is not compatible with the West. And I said, thank you, Charlie Kirk. And he says, get some super chats for me, brother. I said, thank you, Charlie Kirk. We were playing Halo when he said that to me. This is the last thing he said to me. At least that's the way that you're supposed to say it anyway. You're supposed to build a Charlie Kirk told me, the last thing Charlie Kirk told me. So I'm just working that narrative in because that seems to be the anti-Israel kind of crowd loves to go like the last thing Charlie said to me. Notice how they never said anything about Charlie Kirk prior to that. But what's interesting is Steven Crowder uploaded this video and I thought it was very interesting. So we're going to go through it and listen.
He's gotten very, very popular lately, I read, with Muslim viewers, because he's been standing up for Islam.
There are some new listeners here. Oh, yeah. New listeners like this.
These days, Tucker Carlson has a big fan base amongst the anti-war left, who see him as saying the right stuff, trying to stop Trump from illegal wars in Iran, and amongst a lot of Muslims and Arab Americans.
So I mentioned this before when I first started kind of memeing on the anti-Israel crowd. I'm like, their behavior is very reminiscent of someone that wants you to look here because they don't want you to look there. I've never seen a group of people that were so hyper-focused on, hey, Jeremy, if you just do the research, if you just look at these sources, you're going to see what's going on. And I'm like, well, what about the thing that I know is going on? What about me focusing on the thing that I know is going on? It feels very motivated by stop looking here because we need you to look over there. And that's just me applying common sense to it. Why do you want me to stop looking here? You can look wherever you want, but why do you need me and everyone else to stop looking there? Why do you want me to look here? It feels like you want me to look here because you don't want me to look somewhere else.
Who see him now as this great champion of Palestine.
This brings us to, and I reached out, asked for her to, she's been on the show many times. I haven't heard back more recently. So I just want you to know, I have no personal ill will toward Megyn Kelly. We've had a pretty good rapport. But she did just say this. I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? It might have been 2 days ago.
May 5th.
Okay.
So, yeah,
yesterday. So yesterday. And this all happened within 24 hours, really 48 hours, when you see Candace Owens saying we have to heal the fracture with the left. Nick Fuentes, who's been on the show, saying, I'm a moderate Democrat. Tucker Carlson, you know, he's been saying for a while now, he regrets telling people to vote for Donald Trump without providing a viable alternative. And now Megyn Kelly saying, you know what? Actually, maybe I was wrong about Islam, but most important, there's an audience here.
He's casting a wide net now. You know, once he said that he's sorry that he endorsed Trump, he regrets it and feels like he has to make amends. And his show is doing fine. It's not like he's hurting for audience, but I think he's understanding there may be some new listeners over here. You know, like he's gotten very, very popular lately. I read with Muslim viewers because he's been standing up for Islam.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Congratulations, Tucker. Glad that you're getting your Islam viewership up. Weird.
Now, to be clear, I've never been to the White House. I didn't go to the inaugural ball. I've never endorsed anybody until this very last election because I believed it was so consequential. I did endorse Donald Trump. And by the way, I don't regret it. I am glad that he is president of the United States. That's just a difference of opinion. You guys let me know if you think I'm a sellout because I'm glad that Donald Trump is president as opposed to Kamala Harris. Doesn't mean he's perfect. But that's
but see, I'm glad that Donald Trump is president because he's the best person for the job. I don't like this. And listen, Steven Crowder is fantastic. I have said I was wrong about Crowder a lot. I don't like this patronizing way that some people like to say, well, Trump's better than Kamala. Yeah, slamming my dick in the car door is better than Kamala. Okay, like that is not a compliment at all. Like, I am proud that Donald Trump is president because he's literally the best person for the job. There is not another human being walking this planet that could do a better job of running this country and doing what he's done than Donald Trump. That is the bottom line. This dismissive, patronizing, like, well, he's better than Kamala. I mean,
there are some new listeners here. Oh, yeah. New listeners like this.
These days, Tucker Carlson has a big fan base amongst the anti-war left who see him as saying the right stuff, trying to stop Trump from illegal wars in Iran, and amongst a lot of Muslims and Arab Americans who see him now as this great champion of Palestine.
Oh, my God. He's wearing a Cobra Kai shirt. Are you fucking kidding me? He's wearing a Cobra Kai shirt.
Wherever I go, literally, Hassan, wherever I go in this country, I do a lot of live events. I do a lot of public events. People come up to me, when are you going on Tucker Carlson? When are you going to do an event with Tucker Carlson? Why don't you do a collab with Tucker Carlson? We love Tucker Carlson. Wherever I go, people ask me more about Tucker Carlson, even in my own family, than they ask me about my wife and kids.
I will guarantee you this, by the year 2028, Tucker Carlson will be infinitely more popular in the Republican Party than Donald Trump.
Holy hell, what a terrible take. Oh my goodness.
Infinitely.
Look, guys, it's humiliating. Tucker Carlson is fighting against this war more than any of the Democratic leaders.
The Islamic regime right now is literally broadcasting Tucker Carlson interviews in Persian on their 24-hour news channel.
Now, that doesn't mean because there are some people who are left politically who can watch somebody, it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It's fine. I get it. You want a broader coalition. But when those people who, by the way, seek to subvert the United States, any doubt about that with Mehdi Hassan?
Right.
Any doubt with Cenk Uygur, by the way? The Young Turks, he denied the Armenian genocide for a very long time until he said, I was wrong about that. I promise I would never do the impression again. Oh, so the people who vote, as we just saw in the elections, they don't matter so much. It's the Mehdi Hassan crowd. It's a very clear pivot with, again, no reasoning beyond I say so. And here's Megyn Kelly. I want to know the flash of genius moment. What's changed?
I have to tell you, Mark, it's been something I've noticed just since I've gotten sort of more.
I think this is it right here. I can't remember. I think this is where she sounds very much like Kathleen Kennedy when she's talking about older Star Wars fans and how Kathleen Kennedy wanted to get rid of those older fans and usher in those newer, younger fans, a more diverse group of people that were easily manipulated, get rid of those old heads that were, I think this is what she says right here.
Or clear-eyed on Israel, that a lot of the anti-Muslim rhetoric that's put out there originates with people who are very, very pro-Israel, who kind of need us to demonize them.
Right.
And I've taken a look recently at my own rhetoric on this to say, like, have I been manipulated? I want to make sure
I've had to look into the mirror and think about the words that I've said.
I'm not getting manipulated, but I think he's having a lot of Muslim viewers flock to him. I know for a fact he has a lot of young men flocking to him. And so while he may have lost some contingent of the Fox News audience that's very, very pro-Israel and
right there,
pro-Trump, and you can't say anything about Trump, for every one of those who leaves, there is another newer, younger audience member.
Boom! The Kathleen Kennedy method. Get rid of the old guard. Piss them off. It doesn't matter if you leave. We want new fans. We want new supporters. That is the Hollywood leftist mindset right there. That is Kathleen Kennedy thinking to a T. You can take the person out of the mainstream, but you can't take the mainstream out of the person. What's up, Madam Savvy?
Who does want to hear
in the chat
these traditional lines challenged and hear just new independent thinking? I mean, I'm experiencing some of that myself, and Tucker probably times 10.
Yeah, a couple of things. Want to hear these traditional lines questioned. Do you mean the traditional lines like Islam is the religion of peace, and to question it is Islamophobia, which we had to live under? By the way, we got that from George W. Bush as well, and certainly an entirely complicit media, to be clear. Do you mean that? Because that's what we've been questioning. She says, and the people who have really pushed this line of thinking, pro-Israel and have to, well, okay, what if someone happens to be pro-Israel?
I think it's pretty clear to me, and that the reason that Steven Crowder, now I do think his move to Rumble has had an effect on it as well, but it feels to me like the reason that Steven Crowder has lost, in my mind anyway, a lot of the relevancy with being the biggest voice in, non-woke, non-leftist, conservative politics, whatever you want to call it, it's because he's been so on point, to the point where they have tried to push him down, because his point, if you listen to Steven Crowder, if you get rid of the cringy comedy from Crowder, which I had to, Crowder is on point, man. And he's been on point for a long fucking time.
But it's irrelevant to their view of Islam. There are plenty of people, by the way, who are not pro-Israel, who have the same view of Islam. Let me ask you, so these lines were pushed by those who are pro-Israel. Does that change the facts? Does it change the fact that, let me ask you this.
Christian Rockers, you stole what I said in my super chat. Let me see. Hang on. Christian Rocker. Right here. Notice that Crowder isn't in the conservative spotlight like he used to be, all because he stayed level-headed and not jumped into clickbait topics. There you have it. See, I stole that from you. I did not, but you guys were further ahead of the curve than me on Crowder anyway. I used to tell you how much I couldn't stand Crowder. But I'm learning more about Crowder as I watch more of his stuff. JB username for 20 says the only thing worse than today being I can't breathe day is that I have to pay shitty employees time and a half. Sorry to hear that, brother. Thank you, JB username. Hail to you for the $20.
Has this changed? Did Muhammad wage wars? Yes, he did. Did Muhammad beat his wife? Yes, he did. Did Muhammad have a child bride? Yes, he did. To be fair, he only fucked her thighs from 6 to 9, Aisha, and then took her fully. Did he call for the deaths of Christians and Jews? Yes, he did. Have Muslims every single century since its inception expanded through violent conquest? The answer is yes, they have, regardless of the state of Israel, to be clear. And do we find ourselves today, because of all of that, because of the founder of the feast and because of his instructions, do we find ourselves today with a crumbling Europe because of Islamic migrants and 198 million Muslims worldwide who support the use of violence against civilian targets to defend Islam? Yes, we do. So what amongst that has changed? Is it because someone who happens to be Jewish or happens to be pro-Israel also understands those facts to be true?
And it also just goes into like this whole narrative of like, you can talk about Islam. You can talk about that openly. You're not silenced with that, but Christianity is frowned upon. It's always kind of dismissed and disrespected. And you start to pick up on that and you're like, what is going on? Because regardless of this, I'm just taking a step back. Take a step back from whatever your personal belief is, whatever. If you just take a step back and have some perspective, if you just look at Christianity and Jesus's teachings, the basic fundamentals, you can't argue what he taught. Like, you just can't. Like, it makes for a better world. It makes you a better person. Like, it just does. It's the way the world should be. It's the way the world should operate. Regardless of what you personally believe or whatever, if you're just stepping back and just looking at what Jesus taught, it's just as simple as that. And why would you want to silence that? Why would you want to silence it? Why would you want to get rid of that? Why would you not want people to live by that rule, by those, beliefs? Why would you want to silence that? Why? Because you're evil. That's why.
Because I've always been critical of Islam for the same reasons that I'm critical of Islam today. The facts have not changed.
Well, Muhammad did have slaves. He did slaughter a few hundred Jews, and some of his last words were cursing the Jewish and Christian people. I'm still not seeing how someone could interpret this religion as violent.
And there we go, Aisha with a black eye and a fat lip. Oh, look at that picture.
And in the spirit of full disclosure, Muhammad had many wives.
Not Muhammad. Who are you speaking? Shut up! You don't know the boss of me.
I sincerely think the world would be a better place if every Muslim acted like Muhammad. According to modern law, they'd have to be jailed.
Allah is going to finally get to decide. By the way, not covering up your whole body, that's a bad deed. By the way, wanting equal rights, women, that's a bad deed. By the way, free speech, that's a bad deed. So every single person who isn't a radical Muslim gets no grace from Allah. By the grace of Allah is an oxymoron.
I know. There are so many misconceptions about jihad. I'm here to clear that up a little bit. It's not what you think. No.
See, I thought it was about waging a holy war against all non-Muslims involving subjugation, conversion, or ultimately execution.
That's actually pretty good. It's exactly what you think. Nailed it!
Muhammad was not only involved in the commanding of killing certain women, committed domestic violence against his wife Aisha, said that women constituted a majority of hell, but there was actually a dame who was stoned to death as per his individual orders.
And usually I show that so you see the timeline, because I can't run from my record.
No.
And now, I'm not someone who was on Fox News saying one thing, and then my private text revealed that I hated Donald Trump and I thought he was a cancer in the party, and I reviled the voters as the plebs of society. I don't have, but I do have a track record of citing books versus Muhammad's own words, and being critical and believing that it's a threat. I've also grown up with it.
Yeah.
I've also grown up with it. I went to a school where a kid wore an I-Plane New York shirt, and I got in trouble because it almost came to blows, and I made fun of, it turns out he had cancer. I didn't know. I told him he looked like a walking penis with teeth, but I don't feel bad about it.
You shouldn't feel bad about it.
I've lived with it. I've lived it. I've experienced it, and I've communicated it to you. I would be embarrassed if I changed my view, and it would be a requirement.
I don't know. And for those that have talked, that listen to Steven Crowder consistently, but like, has he gone like this far as to go like, does he think that, this in the last 2 to 3 years, man, the anti-Israel narrative has gotten so bad? And my theory was always, what do you not want me to look at this? And it seems like it's like fully funded by, other foreign countries. That's what it seems like. I'm not making any accusations. I'm just using common sense. Like, this stuff just doesn't happen out of nowhere. So like, I see it exploding online. I see how friendly it is to the algorithm. I've seen how many people have blown up talking about it. Has Crowder theorized as to where this comes from and what the motivation is? I'm sure he has. He's been following this shit for a long time.
Of me, I would imagine you would require this of me to explain, well, actually, all of these facts and verses and historical context that I have provided with references, I was wrong about all of that because, and you know what? I was wrong about all of that because the Jews told me so. Ain't gonna do it. They don't seem to care because theirs has just been, oh yeah, Islam, bad, right? Migrants. Tommy Robinson is still out there right now fighting against the Islamicization of the West. That still is a very key battle. You know what's happening?
I saw Mad Frog says that there's different factions. It's not a monolith. Talking about the anti-Israel crowd. Well, the one, if you are referring to that, which you probably are, because I know where you stand on things, but the common denominator in this is that all of those factions are all fucking retarded. So there's that. So they have a one common denominator that they're all retarded.
The epicenter is becoming, was it the Meadow or the Meadows, in Texas? You don't think that's a threat? Anywhere, let me be really clear. Anywhere Islam becomes a majority, you're done.
That is the bottom line there. That's it. That's what I worry about more than anything. What he just said, that's the bottom line.
Anywhere Islam becomes a majority, you're done. That's it.
Yeah.
Curtains. It's never gone another way.
Like bed bugs.
Effectively, so it's now incumbent upon.
The bed bugs comment is on point. That is true. I mean, once bed bugs are in the equation, you're done. So that is a good point right there.
Way.
Like bed bugs.
Effectively, so it's now incumbent upon the people saying, "No."
He didn't get Crowder's on making a point. He should have gotten a proper laugh on that one, man.
I've had to re-examine my line of thinking. Okay. That's the first 20% of this statement. You've had to re-examine it. And what's your line of thinking now? Oh, Muslims like Jesus because they say he was a teacher but deny his divinity. You got to give us a little bit more than that.
I mean, like I've heard Trump make some comments here and there about, radical Islamic terrorists and things like that. I don't think I've heard Trump go too deep into this problem. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but to be fair, Trump tends to not have a ton of substance on anything that he talks about publicly because that's how he handles things. And then you have Trump haters will misread that as like, oh, Trump just doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not smart. It's like, shut the fuck up. But so Trump tends to not get into the weeds on anything publicly for many reasons, but I don't think I've heard him get too far into this one.
Jesus, because they say he was a teacher but deny his divinity. You got to give us a little bit more than that.
Rumble wallet. Keep your
Steven, nobody needed that shit. You know what? The chat deserves. I have to apologize to the chat. We're going to have to bring Red Dress Sydney Sweeney into this. Okay. I'll let the audio play, but we can't have that, Stephen.
Of this statement.
We're going to give him his ad read.
You've had to re-examine
his ad read.
And what's your line of thinking now?
There you go, chat.
Oh, Muslims like Jesus because they say he was a teacher but deny his divinity. You got to give us a little bit more.
Rumble wallet. Keep your crypto safe, even when you are at your most vulnerable.
I'm looking right at Sydney Sweeney.
Hey, how'd you
I
get
don't
in here?
see
Go!
anything that's on this screen right now.
Do it for social.
You're welcome.
Go to wallet.rumble.com to download the Rumble wallet
You're
today. No
welcome.
banks, no fees, no middlemen, just your money and now your crypto in one secure, easy to use place. Get started today. And the fact that this has all happened seemingly in unison.
Okay, I think I just came up with an idea. We need to add Sydney Sweeney to our Rumble wallet ad reads. That's going to make us a lot of money.
Where it's like, wait, well, hold on a second. Yeah, Islam is not a threat. Well, we've all been fighting against that for a very long time.
Yeah.
Democrats aren't that bad. What? They're all the same. Well, then why did you endorse Donald Trump? Megyn Kelly, is this the same thing that Megyn Kelly would apply to, having trans children and supporting it on her show when she was on a mainstream network? Also doing the Me Too thing, which may or may not have.
We got breaking news. It's breaking 25 minutes ago. Hang on. President Trump says Iran will be handing over their enriched uranium nuclear dust for destruction. And now the only question is how it's done. It's either A, the U.S. will take possession of it, bring it home and destroy it, or destroyed in a place in Iran with oversight from the Atomic Energy Commission. Holy hell.
And somebody said, how are we going to get the nuclear dust? We're going to get it by going in with Iran, with lots of excavators, because the B-2s, remember when fake news CNN said, well, maybe obliteration is too strong a word. Obliteration. That's so deep. We need the biggest excavators you can imagine, but we're going to go in together with Iran. We're going to get it. We're going to take it back home to the USA. Very simple.
So I will say this, okay? I will say this. Understand who you're dealing with on both sides of this situation. Trump is probably negotiating publicly right now. And you're also dealing with Iran, who is full of shit. So just because it's being said like this doesn't mean that it's actually done. But Trump is probably either negotiating publicly to hammer those final details, or he's frustrated and he's using it for more leverage. But that's what I would say. Let's finish up with this video really quick.
Happened at Fox News, that film Bombshell, being a feminist and anti-Trump until she went online, realized you can't survive, carrying the legacy media talk.
PM says this is the downfall of Trump. His ego is why. You think so? You think Trump's done now? Yeah, I imagine Trump is done. Like, he's not proven to be resilient. I think Trump is completely done. And by the way, who would have ever thought Trump had a big ego? Like, he's been fooling us. Trump has been fooling us all of these years. I thought Trump was a really kind of like just a guy that didn't think too highly of himself. You know, he never flaunted about being rich and having women and buildings. He never put his name on buildings. He never did branding with his name. And now out of nowhere, suddenly now Trump shows the world who he is. I'm so disappointed that this guy has an ego. I can't believe it. I can't believe Trump has an ego. I would have never voted for him if I would have known he had an ego. If only this person could have been there to educate me. Fuck. Oh, well. We are where we are, unfortunately.
Talking points, and now going, oh, there might be a new audience of Islamic people who, by the way, seek the destruction.
One of my haters says, Jeremy sows this every show. Sows this. A lot to unpack here. Okay. So, first of all, you can't spell. You're a little emotional. We get that. Okay. Secondly, you're just admitting that you watch every show. You just admitted that you watch me every single fucking show. There's a lot of problems here. You can't stand me. You can't stop watching me. You're angry, so you misspell in the chat. You're my biggest fan, Jacoby Wayne. You're my biggest fan, and I appreciate that. You know what? Just for Jacoby, because he's such a big fan, such a huge fan. He loves the Snake Pit. He loves the CobraCast. You know what? The chat's going to love you after this, buddy, okay? Little Sydney Sweeney in the house. It's for Jacoby. Being such a supporter, here every stream supporting us. There you have it, man. I really, really appreciate it. The chat appreciates it. Everybody's thanking you. This is the greatest day of your life. And it's never going to get better than this, so you might as well enjoy it. So we really appreciate it. So's in the chat. So's in the chat right there. We got JMNZZ450 says, When most thought Candace flipped because of a love triangle, remember old JMNZZ says, nah, her, Tucker, and Megan are going for that segment of progressives who pretend they are the rational center. That was a pretty good super chat. Hail to JMNZZ 450. Thank you, brother. You were spot on. Man, the conservative influencer world is wild. It really is. L Wing Secret Garden says Islam seeks to take over from the inside. It makes sense why they all side with the Dems, even though their beliefs oppose each other. They would never abort their children, but they will abort yours. 100%. This is the problem. This is the thing people have to focus on. Or you can just look at where Ian Carroll wants you to look. You know, whatever works for you. I'm not here to judge. I would never judge. Would never do that. All right, let's finish this up.
Of the West. When this is very important. I've talked about this a few times. It's kind of a cliche where they'll point to people going like, well, if you don't like it here in the United States, if you think that Castro's regime is so good, why don't you go there? Well, if you think it's so great in Iran, why don't you go over there? Here's the thing. It may be someone who sounds silly or ignorant saying it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just like when people say, well, I'm not racist. I have a lot of black friends. People on the left go, so you think that defends you? It's actually a perfectly legitimate defense. The fact that it's sort of become cliche because it's been used so much doesn't mean it's invalid. It means that it's been used so much because, generally speaking, someone who hates black people wouldn't have a lot of close black friends. Someone saying, if you don't like it here in this country and you think it's better in insert country here, Iran, UAE, Nicaragua, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Canada, right? If you think it's better there, why don't you move there? You are free to do so.
Yeah.
There is an answer, though, and
that's what I've been saying to little Ben Shapiro for a while. If you love it so much, little Ben, you can head right over. You can head right over to Israel.
That's the important part. The answer is that if someone says these other countries, these other regimes, communist China, communist Cuba, the Islamic world, it's better than the United States, and they stay here, the answer is they are staying here to subvert this country to the point that it becomes like theirs. That's why they're staying here.
Mm-hmm. This is their strategy. Stabbing and blowing people up failed. And we lived through that. That's the reason that I'm on this show, is because I used to come and comment on what was going on in the world when somebody invariably every few months blew themselves up or shot up Charlie Hebdo or shot at people that were at an art festival somewhere in Texas that had the Prophet Muhammad painted incorrectly, right? Invariably it happened. And I would just like to ask Megyn Kelly, I think all of this is bullshit. Tell me when you changed your mind. Because in January, you were saying exactly the opposite. And the reason I bring that up, it's not like you couldn't have gotten new information from January to today. I'll grant you that is. But help me understand what parts of Islam you were enlightened about that are no longer antithetical to the West, as you said. What values that Islam says that they have and want to have for the rest of the world? What parts of Sharia law are now in line with Christianity and the Constitution of the United States? Help me understand, because what it sounds like is somebody said it's all been the Jews this entire time and you bought it. Do me a favor. Help me understand why Hindus hated Muslims prior to the creation of the state of Israel. Help me understand that. If it's the Jews that are doing this everywhere, you telling me that there's Hindu Jews out there doing this?
I'm sure there are a few.
Doesn't make sense.
Hindu.
Yeah, Hindu. And by the way, they are the cheapest of the cheap. You combine the two, they're tipping in pennies.
You know what? I did leave.
I'm just so glad that I didn't ever fall for that bullshit. It's just crazy how many people have jumped on that train, and it's just unbelievable. And here we are, where it's pretty obvious that there's something else going on.
About one possible scenario. She didn't know what she was talking about to begin with.
Well, I'll leave one more possible scenario. There are quite a few new listeners here.
Oh, wait. 56 billion?
Yeah, quite a few new listeners here.
Every show.
And I'm not just talking about Islam. I'm talking about the left that seeks to subvert it. Let me ask you this. AOC. Do you think that AOC is in our government because she wants to return America to its Christian traditional roots? Do you think she's a representative because she loves America and wants to improve America to what it's meant to be? Or do you think she would rather America be like Cuba? Do you think she would rather America be like Venezuela or Bernie Sanders? Do you think he's in office because he loves freedom, pursuit of happiness, First Amendment, Second Amendment rights, and he wants a traditional Christian nationalist viewpoint as the founding fathers? Or do you think he believes breadlines are a good thing and he'd like to bring them here? Do you think that Karen Bass, mayor of Los Angeles, do you think she's mayor of Los Angeles because she wants Los Angeles to be a wonderful city, an example of American exceptionalism, where your hard work is rewarded and our industrious nature, right? We're a shining city on a hill.
Everything he's saying is so on point. Like, you know, people are like, oh, Jeremy, you don't understand. The Jews are blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I can walk around this country and I can literally see the difference from when I was a kid to where I am now. And the more and more I look around this country, the more it looks nothing like the United States of America that I grew up in. That is the bottom line. That is right there in front of me. I can see how bad it has become in the last 30 years. It's literally happened right in front of our fucking faces.
Or do you think, for the same reason that she traveled to Cuba dozens of times under a fake program that allows her to take part in their propaganda programs under the guise of construction, do you think she would rather make Los Angeles more like Cuba? Record homelessness, entitlement programs, no unified language. The answer is what matters. People often stop. If you don't like America, you like those countries, you're free to go there. People go, this silly redneck. No, let's go further. Let's answer it. This person doesn't like America. They've made it clear. They prefer these other countries that are antithetical to Americanism. So why are they here? Why are they in office? Why do they dominate academia?
To be fair, it's the same question you can ask of Ben Shapiro as well. So if you love it so much, Ben, why are you here?
Why do you think
But his point still stands.
Curriculum that your kids learn in public schools say America bad, colonialism, we're uniquely responsible for slavery, we're uniquely racist. Do you think it's because they want to? No, they're still here because they want to subvert America and make it like those places that they prefer. That's the truth. And the greatest offender on that front is Islam. For proof, look anywhere that they've ever attained a majority or even getting close.
Just walk around this fucking country, pretty much anywhere.
Close to it. Look what's happened in Europe.
That's
what's coming your way. It's never gone any other way. Islam majority, your rights are gone. That's it.
Spot on from Steven Crowder. Spot freaking on. So, it's a big issue, and I hope enough people will finally realize that you're being manipulated to look a different way. And when people are so adamant about that, and they're so passionate about it, and they're so willing to accuse you of all of these crazy things that you don't even know what the hell they're talking about. And you're like, why are you so passionate about this? Probably because you're getting paid. Marksman for 20 on Rumble says Splash Mountain is too much, but Splash on Brokeback Mountain is fine. Shaking my head. You are correct. That's the leftist mindset right there. Sad but true. Sad but true. Still leg of history. For 20 says Jeremy, my late uncle died in Vietnam. My grandfather was World War II. My dad did 20 years in the Army, brother 30, nephew 4. I'm so grateful for them. I owe them so much that we could never repay them for what they've done. 199. Well, for you and for all the others, I'm going to play the clip that we started the show out one more time because I think that we should, out of respect.
From generation to generation, heroes like these have poured out their blood and sweat and heart and tears for our country. Because of them, America is strong and safe and mighty and free. Because of them, 2 centuries on, the Star-Spangled Banner still proudly waves. For as long as our flag flies in the sky above, the names of these fallen warriors will be woven into its threads. For as long as we have citizens willing to follow their example, to carry on their burden, to continue their legacy, then America's cause will never fail, and American freedom will never, ever die. Today we honor the heroes we have lost. We pray for the loved ones they left behind. And with God as our witness, we solemnly vow to protect, preserve, and cherish this land they gave their last breath to defend, and to defend so proudly. Thank you. God bless our military. God bless the memory of the fallen. God bless our Gold Star families. And God bless America.
So thank you, Steel Leg, and for all the other brave men and women out there. Some gave all gave some. Yes, says Parrot Heads. Yeah, that's a great song, by the way, by Billy Ray Cyrus. If you've never heard Some Gave All by Billy Ray Cyrus, today would be the day to listen to that. Fantastic song. Fantastic song. But thank you, Steel Leg. I appreciate it, brother. Let's see here. We got Fantastic Snock says anti-American Americans, non-citizens. I hate America. Americans, then why don't you leave and move to another country? Anti-American Americans. I like what America has to offer, and I have a life. Yeah, it's interesting how that works, isn't it? Craig Morning says Israel has nothing to do with the Jews, just like geopolitical Ukraine has nothing to do with Ukrainian culture. Israel is a national money laundering ring under the guise of a country people. Yeah, welcome to every country. If you think that, so again, it's kind of like when you say that you kind of hyper focus on saying that this one NFL owner wants money, and you're just not going to support him because I'm going to support my team, but that team, Jerry Jones, he just wants money. Every fucking NFL owner wants money. What the fuck are you talking about? Some are just better than others. But every NFL owner wants money. Just because Jerry Jones is the best at it doesn't mean that every other fucking owner isn't a sleazebag too. That's just how it is. So to act like Israel's the only country out there that's focused on making money and get the fuck out of here. What world do you live in where Israel's the only crooked country? Are you fucking kidding me? Every fucking country is crooked. Every politician is crooked to some level. Every government is crooked. Welcome to the real world. But no, Israel's the only one that's bad. Holy fuck. That's called tunnel vision to a level I can never understand. Jesus. Oh, it's just only this. Every other country is, they care about their citizens, and they care about the smaller people, and they do everything the right way. The fuck out of here, dude. That's not the real world at all. Justin says it's because they control education. Conservatives are less prone to want to educate, so these radicals took over. Thank you, Justin. You are correct. But let me see here. Craig says many groups are vying for U.S. influence of all kinds: Islamist, communist, China, Russia. Israel is, in fact, having an outsized negative influence on the U.S. Why not investigate it publicly? I mean, you can. I never said you can't. I said that the anti-Israel crowd is obsessed with forcing you to care about what they care about. And that has always been my problem with it. I've never said you can't focus on it. I've never said you can't talk about it. But you're bringing a victim narrative is like, when have I ever said you can't investigate Israel? When have I ever said that I think that it's an issue that people should discuss? But yet the anti-Israel crowd gets very, very emotional when I don't line up with their view. And I've always found that to be interesting. It's very much like a leftist mindset. So again, as I say, leftists tell you that every problem in our world is based on racism. And I go, no, it's not. What are you talking about? And they're like, are you saying racism doesn't exist? Never said that. Never fucking said it doesn't exist. I said it's not the source of the problem for everything that's wrong in your life. Then you're just co-signing it because you're a racist. You're like, what are you fucking talking about? I literally said racism exists. I just said it's not for every problem in the fucking world. And then leftists get very, very emotionally upset when you go, yeah, it's not as bad of a problem as you're claiming it is. It's really not. Like, yeah, it's an issue. And, I have no problem with you calling it out when you see it. But they're like, no. It's literally white supremacy is overrunning our country and holding black people back. And I'm like, LeBron James kids literally have the better life than every white kid in this country right now. But racism, right? LeBron James kids are going to have more opportunity than 99.9% of every white kid in this country for the rest of humanity. But racism is holding black people back. That doesn't add up. Super Cinema Vault says, I would never consider giving you a super chat, Jeremy. Lol, roll tide, roll. Roll tide, roll. Let's see. Dean H says, real Star Wars Day tax. Wraith Leader says, George Floyd being drug-free for 6 years is just breathtaking. Just truly inspiring. If he can do it, so can you. Let's see. Clamum says, might be George Droid you're thinking of for AI George. Vic Chavez says, makes me want to get banned just so I can call him a slur. I mean, you can always call me. You're probably talking about something else. But anyway, you can go over to Kick or Rumble and say whatever you want. Snake Shadow says, all hail Cobra, more Sweeney. Beardo pre-ordered Starfield says, admit it, Jeremy, you bricked. Luis says 1,000 years of Islam doesn't get you a man on the moon, nor a representative government of equal citizens and acknowledged. I don't know what that was inalienable rights. Says Christianity in its secular form is the future for mankind. I agree. Completely. John freaking Murdoch says, hey, Jeremy, I know you only do this for the money. I accept that. I've been sending you money to get you to care about the things I care about. You're almost there. I'm the only YouTuber that doesn't do this for money. Okay. Every other YouTuber, they do this for money, but not me. Okay. I don't do this for money, guys. I am not in this for the money. I'm in this for the right reasons, okay? I'm like every other government that's not Israel, okay? Only the Israeli government, they're the only ones that are in it for the money. Every other government, perfect governments. They have no skeletons in the closet whatsoever. They're perfect. They operate perfect, and they care about their citizens so much. And that is me. I am like every other country. I don't do this for money. Let's see. Jeremy will, you know what, Mr. Bentham, I know you're fucking trolling. Damn it. But I was about to pull this up because I know you. I know you're trolling me. Fuck you. I was getting ready to roll and I saw it was Mr. Bentham. I'm like, I was getting wound up. I was about to fucking crush you. And I asked Mr. Bentham. I know he's fucking with me. I was getting wound up. John freaking Murdoch, thank you. He did get me. I saw it and I'm like, oh, damn it. That was good though. The local Rex says, I cannot wait, please, Lord Jesus, for Tucker, Megan, Alex, and Candace to get their due retribution from the GOP winning the midterms, losing their audiences and careers. All hail for the fallen. Time will tell, man. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that it's just a home run that we're going to win the midterms. But if Trump's plan works out, I think the midterms are going to be in good shape. But we shall see. I did see this earlier. DJ Cobra, speaking of it, Jesus, did you hear Melanie Mack saying people are only going after the Corbyn because he came after Christ? Listen, you guys can't get mad at me. Okay. You cannot get mad at me for this. Okay. If you're going to get mad at somebody, you're going to have to get mad at Alyssa Clips and Bearing. Okay. So, because Alyssa Clips uploaded this clip from Bearing, and it's awful. Bearing's solution for Melanie Mac's voice. Holy crap.
Miss Melanie Mac.
Oh, kill that voice. Don't kill her. I'm not saying kill her. I would never say that.
Kill this show. What the is this?
Yeah, I know. That voice, though, is like nails on a chalkboard.
Which one?
Well,
They're both annoying.
I think Melanie's a bit worse.
I don't know, man, but this is dragging out some internalized misogyny in me. And what the hell is with Melanie Mac? What does she always sit there like a doll with eyes that flutter like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Why
yeah.
does she do that?
I don't know.
She looks like a stunned mullet, like she's got mascara in her eyeball or something, and it's irritating her eye.
Drunkards.
Ah, that voice! I can't take that voice. I had to do a little bit of investigating to find out exactly what it is about that voice that
Why are we watching this? To piss off the Melanie Mac simps.
annoys me so much.
Like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, I did a little bit of sweep EQing. It's right there. It's at about the 2 kilohertz range, right? The 2 kilohertz in that laugh is the fucking annoying frequency. Right? Now, we got to think about her husband because she's newly married and we got to save a motherfucker, right? So the annoying spot is at 2K. So this is what happens if we filter everything over 2K. Much more manageable, right?
I don't know, man. It's still awful to me.
Yeah, hey, look, it's still awful, but it's much more manageable. So I found a product for Johnny Junkers. Johnny Junkers is her husband. He's a cosplayer, apparently. I found this out last night on Yellow Flash's stream.
What does he cosplay as?
I don't know. He dresses up as like fucking robots or something. I don't know.
That's his job.
That's his job, apparently, yeah. Yeah. But I found this product, right? You're welcome, Johnny Junkers. They're called Erasers Hi-Fi Dentist's Earplugs, right? And what they do is they filter out any frequencies above 2K and give you about a 19 decibel reduction in sound, which is perfect for Melanie Mac's laugh. See, these things are specifically designed for dentists so they don't get their ears fucked up by the drilling sound. So what we're basically saying is Melanie Mac's laugh is equivalent to a dentist's drill.
You know you've just unleashed Pandora's box right now.
What do you
Whenever
mean?
you piss me off, I'm going to go above the 2K frequency.
Oh, shut up. Stop. But compare the difference. This is Johnny Junkers listening to his wife live stream without the earplugs.
Drunkards.
And this is with the earplugs.
Drunkards.
Much better.
Bearing, it ain't much better. I appreciate the attempt, brother, but it ain't much better.
Much better. Much more manageable.
It's muffled.
Yeah, because the 2K has been dropped by like 12 decibels. It's much less of an ear.
All right, this has gone off on a bit of a tangent, Bearing.
Well, as you know, I'm like 1/8 autistic or something.
Oh, man. That's good shit. That was a funny clip right there. Hail to Bearing and Alyssa Clips. That's good stuff. But yeah, by the way, you're welcome to be a fan of Melanie Mac. I've had her on many streams, and it just kind of shows you what the fuck was I thinking? What was I thinking? Holy crap! But hey, it is what it is. We are where we are now. Minister From Things says fries on his knees like Derek. Irony. We got my boy Mexican Iron Man 450 says hail to fearless or FLJ, aka Fearless Leader Jeremy. Great to meet you and the Geeks and Gamers team on Friday. For anyone that criticizes the G&G crew, I can personally attest to the outstanding character, kindness, and authenticity of everyone. Jeremy, you and your team are class act. Dude, you've been Mexican Iron Man's been following me for, I think it's 2017, 2018. Finally got a chance to meet him for the first time. Super awesome guy, man. It was really cool, man. So hail to you, brother. Thank you for everything. Looking forward to talking with you more. I was so happy to get to go and meet everyone. And by the way, in the future, with 9line, I think we're going to do some more stuff. I think we're going to do some more stuff with 9line, and you're going to hear from us potentially having some merch with them very soon. So we'll see. We got to get everything together, but I am looking forward to it. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man, brother. Appreciate you. Zwani for 20 says, here you go, Jeremy. It's a little less than I normally do, but mama needs a new espresso machine. I'll toast you with the first latte. Zwani, you never have to send me another dime. You've sent me so much, but please continue to send me whenever you can. But it's all good either way. I'm glad you got back from your vacation, clearly. And hopefully that espresso machine works out really good for you. Thank you so much, Zwani. Good to see you. Let me see here. We got Bibby says I almost said that. Spiritual music cracks me up every time. Remember when the black community shamed Jacob Fry and chanted, "Go home, Jacob, go home"? Oh yeah, I remember that one. Kevin says Fent flavored purple drank. Joe Bitt says, not gonna lie, the Mando movie was really it was actually a good time. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I will say this about the Mandalorian movie, because I have seen that I'm going to have to shift my opinion on this a little bit, mainly because I've seen where people actually are starting to like it. So I'm going to have to shift my opinion a little bit, and I'm going to have to admit that I actually was incorrect in my assessment of this movie, and it's my responsibility to be honest. So I'm going to have to say that upon further review, I actually hated it even fucking more than I originally said. Fuck this movie straight to hell where it belongs. I fucking hated it. Like, I don't care if everybody else likes it. I fucking hated this movie. I hated every second I had to sit in the theater and watch this dog shit. Fuck this movie. Fuck Pedro Pascal. Fuck Lucasfilm. Fuck these Raylos, but I'm glad you liked it. And I'm glad anybody else out there liked it. But me personally, no, fuck this movie. This movie was a piece of shit. But I'm not hating on anybody that liked it, okay? I'm not hating on it. No, that was like me memeing on the fact that like all these people are like, he really did like The Last Jedi until he saw that everyone hated it. Well, I thought everybody didn't hate it. Which is it? Like, you guys claim, my haters, they're like, he hated The Last Jedi until he realized that everyone hated it, so he changed his opinion. But at the same time, these people say that no one hated The Last Jedi. Which is it? Which is it? Bibby says, what's worse than being shamed to go home and then actually doing it? How about the time Jacob Fry did the electric slide at the cookout? That is a very painful, painful video. Very painful. Bibby says, who has better hair, Jacob Fry or Ryan Kennel? Listen, man, I'm really uncomfortable with Ryan Kennel being happy in Japan. I'm not really sure what to do with that. I'm not prepared. Happy Ryan is not a place that I want to ever be. I never want to see Ryan happy on YouTube. I don't like it. It's bothering me. But at the same time, the fact that Ryan is only happy in the place where Nintendo is based and where so much anime is from is beautiful. Ryan loves Nintendo and Ryan loves anime. That's the way I'm going to look at this. Ryan loves Nintendo and he loves anime. You like that? Daniel Moore says, I've missed you, buddy. Here's some money. It's good to be back. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, Daniel Moore. Miniature Vroom Think says, if AIPAC beat Massey because money, how did Kamala lose 2024 after spending $1 billion more than Trump? Exactly. Vault 199 says, last thing Charlie told me was to send you $2. Sounds like my boy Charlie. Miniature Vroom Think says, remember, wise money is real. Kevin Spears says, Trump is literally the Dark Knight. Mumblewick says, what do you mean? Teresa says, do people realize Iran would have had nukes under Kamala presidency? I don't think they care. And I think that's the problem. It's not even that they don't realize it. I just don't think they care. Brocky Man says 2 things can be true at the same time. Islam isn't compatible with the West and they are dangerous. However, we give too much aid and leeway to Israel. I don't hate them, but we spend too much. I mean, I don't disagree with that assessment. That is a level-headed assessment that the anti-Israel crowd is not capable of having. They are not capable of just saying, yeah, we probably give them a little too much leeway and probably give them a little too much aid. I agree with that. What I don't agree with is these extreme motherfuckers that say Netanyahu is controlling Trump and he's controlling. Like, shut the fuck up. At that point, I don't care what those idiots have to say. Mr. Blue Sky says, I find it very funny how these young Turks are so anti-Trump because he's somehow a fascist, have literally denied the Armenian genocide. Lol, perfectly fine with their own country's atrocities. 100%. 100%. The quartering sources to my fellow vets. Can you remember all 9 lines? Let's see what the chat says. Graptar's Hammer says Mayor Jacob Fry got roasted by Asman on Twitter after he kept kneeling for Floyd. Yep, we covered that. Jose says, I was able to secure 2 Duke 250 anniversaries. I got one for Cole Hauser for his birthday on Wednesday and the extra ones for either you, Jay, or Az. Still on the fence who is a bigger fan. Okay, first of all, Jose, it's me. Okay? I'm the one that you should give that to. It's me. Like, I'm literally begging now. Like, I don't even care. I have no shame. I'm begging. I want the 250 anniversary G.I. Joe Duke. I need that. Please. But you know what? Jose? Whatever you think is best, buddy, because you have extremely good, instincts on this. I'm just going to trust you to make the best decision because I respect you. I respect your decision making. I respect how considerate you are of everyone's feelings. I'm just going to assume that you're going to make the best decision and I'm going to trust you. Okay? No, in all seriousness, man, whatever you decide is all good, brother. I am looking forward to getting that one, though. Big Daddy 949 says that you should check out Salty's vid, 100-year-old Iwo Jima veterans, lovely busting balls. Talking smack at 100. Maybe they are the original G&G crew. Hell yeah. Let's freaking go. That's awesome. And then over on Rumble, on Kick, Predon Corpse sent 12 more kicks. Oh, yeah. Predon Corpse has got this video he wants me to play. He's going to yell at me if I don't. Let me go to my DMs here. Let's see. All right. Predon Corpse has got this clip. I have no idea what the hell you want me to play. What is this, Predon Corpse? Here we go.
But like Marvel movies my issue with Marvel movies has always been that there's no stakes.
Ash, get ready. Get ready for Retardation Central.
Like,
yeah.
Nobody dies. The first Marvel movie I ever walked out of the theater and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Civil War. Why? So because everybody died at the end.
No, but that's not Civil Infinity War.
That's the wrong movie.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Ash, get ready. Get ready for Retardation Central.
Like,
yeah.
Nobody dies. The first Marvel movie I ever walked out of the theater and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Civil War. Why? So because everybody died at the end.
No, but that's not Civil Infinity War.
That's the wrong movie, bro. That was the wrong movie. I mean, Endgame.
This is entry-level pop culture junk. Like,
oh my God.
It's literally your job to know this stuff like the back of your hand. Like, how can you fuck it up?
So like, okay, let's be real here. All right. Because we're constantly memeing and dunking on Quarter because it is funny. Like it is an easy mistake to, mix up certain movies when you're talking about things a lot. But it is still funny. It's very easy to make that mistake. I mean, I've done it with The Force Awakens and Last Jedi before. But that's really funny though. That's really funny. By the way, like, so he's saying the first Marvel movie that he liked. Like, what did he say exactly?
The first Marvel movie I ever walked out of the theater and I was like, "Oh, this is amazing."
I mean, you got Iron Man 1, that was amazing. The first Captain America, I actually liked the first Captain America more than Winter Soldier. Most people like the Winter Soldier more, but you've got the first Captain America. You got the first Iron Man. You got the Winter Soldier. The first Avengers movie was fucking incredible. Well, he's talking Marvel Cinematic Universe, though. Somebody said Blade, but like we're talking MCU. So that was just like, and then you had, the first Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, not great. All three, yes, you said it, Truth. All three Guardians movies are fucking incredible. Civil War is a damn good movie. And yeah, I mean, Infinity War to me is still the best Marvel movie ever made. No doubt about that. But either way, whatever, man. It is funny that he tripped up on that, but it is an easy mistake for some people to make. I won't roast him that much on it. I will roast him on saying Gina Carano's name is Gina Carano because he didn't know who Gina Carano was, and he called her Gina Carano the first time he ever talked about her. Daniel Morris says, congrats to George on 6 years of sobriety. Daniel Morris says, the original Captain Durag said Jesus was Muslim. And then Daniel Morris says, it is funded by foreign countries. I'm part of the investigation into my president and her links to Hamas. Look up Catherine Connolly's sister. Can't wait to see The Felon of Detroit in IMAX. The Mr. Blue Sky says, run the Siren ads with the Rumble Wallet ads. Peter says, how dare you show me Red Sydney? Do it again. Oh, is that what you meant? You misspelled Sid. So Sid ads is what you probably meant to say. Dean H says ego tax. Apollo says pretty sure once I saw a pic of Trump under the definition of humble. Bibby says so's tax or suz. Is it so's? Suz? Mr. Benham says one of the last conversations I had with Charlie, he said, have good Jer play Rocket League. Only Mossad agents play Fortnite. Do it for Charlie. We got to do it for Charlie now. Arclight with a gifted membership. Dark Metal Spider says so's tax. Cool Gamer says hello everybody. Jason Becker says so's yaks. So's you're trying to make me say something, aren't you? MacGyver says apparently this is the only message YouTube will allow me to send. The censorship is ridiculous. That's why we're on Kick and Rumble. Steel Leg says, thanks for all the support and prayers these past couple of weeks. It's been rough. I got to my family's house Saturday and it's been helping me being with them. Prayers up for you, brother, you and your family. Epic Reader says, home of the free because of the brave. Phil says, well, pack it up, boys. Trump had an ego. Well, can we at least get Sydney in the red dress on our way out? Yeah, it's over for Trump, man. I will say, if people ever find out that Trump has an ego, we will lose the midterms. It's over. If it ever gets exposed that Trump has an ego, midterms are done. We cannot let this break containment. This is a serious problem, and I am very worried about people finding out about this. That's tough, man. That's tough. So hopefully this will fly under the radar, because I don't know what else to do. MN Stars says, contact Nux if you want a Jew's perspective on the war and why the woke right have switched. He's absolutely educated on the topic. Go Blue Jew. Yeah, Nux and I follow each other on Twitter, but I've never really talked to him. Or actually, no, I'm supposed to say Nux. Who is Nux? I don't know who Nux is while I'm following him. So right here. Nux, I don't know anyone named Nux. Who is Nux? I'm not sure who that is. Yeah, I've never spoken with him now. By the way, Alyssa Clips while I'm streaming. Alyssa Clips has this up. Cobra calls out Keanu Thompson. Hail Alyssa Clips. That is crazy. That's insane. That's good stuff right there. Fantastic Knox says PMF 206 High Fig. Heard you like furries. McCock says racism does exist. I'm racist. Darth Manic says Jeremy defending Israel excites my gins. Old Salty Dog says the only thing the Little Hats want is for their people to not be turned into air pollution again. Movie Erotic says Ryan Kennel and Gary B. Veterans is today their day. Dark Metal Spider says I hope the Kino guys react to this tonight. Ding a Ling says make Beardo use that as a ringtone. Veronid with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you for the 5 gifties. MBS Cowboy says, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles G.I. Joe figs went live yesterday. I'm more of a Turtles fan than Joe, but I figured you could appreciate the Leonardo, Snake Eyes, or Shredder Cobra Commander. Absolutely. I can't wait to check them out. And Leo with Snake Eyes is perfect. It's actually perfect. Daniel for 10 says, how can anyone be anti-Semitic when Nux exist? You know, the internet's a wild and crazy place, and everybody's got their own opinions. And I really don't have a problem with people having their opinions. It doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when people try to force their opinions on me and tell me I have to think about the things that they think about or believe the way they believe. That's where I have a problem with things, and that's where I get frustrated. But we do have this crazy story with our good buddy Hassan Piker. Now, I don't think I've talked about this yet, but Hassan Piker might be in some trouble. He might be in some trouble. So we're going to pull these clips up right here. Oh, by the way, before we get into that, Google, for the first time, Google is honoring Memorial Day with a full special folded American flag. Look at that. And so this is the first time they've ever done that. That's actually pretty incredible if that's the case. So that must be the Trump effect right there. The fact that this is the first time ever is crazy. Wow. Kind of speaks volumes as to how they view everything, how they view the world, how they view this country. They can't really stand patriotism. So, not falling for it, posers. Yeah, this is kind of like when what was it? Mark Zuckerberg, when he did the whole surfing with the American flag. Remember that? I was like, really? So, I mean, I personally didn't think much of that. All right, so here is Asmongold talking about Hassan Piker. Apparently, he's in some trouble. Here we go.
I mean, when you organize and work with a communist dictatorship government to do PR for a country that is basically more of an oligarchy than America, you should expect to get subpoenaed. You should expect to have this happen.
Context.
Oh, this Cuba trip. Here we are on our way to Cuba. Why he's staying in a 5-star hotel in Cuba.
Tourism is the lifeline for the Cuban economy as it stands currently. The government has very limited.
So wait a minute. So here's the logic. I get it. So because tourism is how they make money, it makes sense for him to spend as much money on tourism while he's there.
The government has very limited resources. They have to stay in what they've declared as 5.
Dude, that is a perfect example of how these clowns operate right there. That's it. Holy shit.
Star hotel. We've just been living La Vida Loca, honestly.
So you went down to Havana to hang out with other celebrities. This is the problem that I think what happens is that I think that people like Hassan and these other Code Pink people get used as useful idiots for the regime in Cuba. They get used as basically propaganda tools. And I think that to an extent, they kind of know that. And I think that's why they're getting called up. is it's like, well, why is it that you had an idea that you were doing propaganda for a communist regime? Why would you do that? Are you pathetic? It's free speech. It's not free speech whenever you're getting something out of it. So like, for example, like if they're giving him preferential treatment or he's being given opportunities or advantages or privileges because of it, then I think it's a much different situation than like, let's say, just simply going there and expressing your viewpoint. He didn't get paid. It's not about whether you like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not just exclusive to being paid.
He got paid all right. He got paid all right. 100% he got paid.
I'm saying is like you're receiving some sort of compensation from a foreign government that's like aligned against the United States. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be money. It could be accommodation, certain privileges in that country. He was in a state hotel. Yeah, exactly. I think that the trip to Cuba was coordinated with the government. I think the government made it easier for them to be there, and they provided certain, like, this is my guess. Like, I don't know, but like somebody knows. That's why there's a subpoena. For example, like, you know, Nick Shirley gets there first day, they've got a 2-star general at the hotel. I think that they greased the wheels and they made it easier for people like Hassan to come into Cuba and knowingly or unknowingly promote and help a communist regime. I think that if you investigate every point of the trip, there's got to be a point or two where the government made it easier to happen. And so like at that point, you're asking yourself the question, is it a good thing for you to be taking material support from a foreign communist government that's actively aligned against the United States while you are a United States citizen?
Well, I mean, Hassan has been actively against the United States for a long time. This is who he is, and he's never shied away from that. He has told you exactly who he was. And he clearly hates the United States of America. He's made that clear more times than I can count. There is clip after clip after clip proving this, that he despises everything that the United States stands for.
I mean, they've already got all your logs and everything, right? I mean, like, that's really bad. The scrutiny reflects growing concerns among federal authorities and lawmakers, whether foreign actors and aligned organizations are attempting to shape American political discourse, mobilize activists, sow discord, and normalize rhetoric that could encourage violence or undermine U.S. security. Like, I'm not going to say he's wrong. Like, I don't know if Hassan's wrong or not. I don't want to have somebody get put in jail for some shit they didn't even do. But, like, it seems really weird that you were able to go to Cuba and have no problems. Meanwhile, Nick Shirley was going to Cuba and he had to fucking escape. You know, my common sense is activating here, and I'm thinking there's probably something wrong, and I don't know if there is or not. That's why there's the subpoena.
So now we have a reaction from Hassan right here. This is Hero Hey, great channel. So Twitch streamer Hassan Piker reportedly subpoenaed in federal Cuba probe.
That Twitch streamer Hassan Piker has reportedly been subpoenaed in a federal Cuba probe. He's reacted to this a bit, and we actually have a brand new clip from earlier today that's been making the rounds as his viewers try to spin this as a dub. But Hassan goes off on his viewers. He does not see it as such at all. A little bit more context before we get to the clip. They say that Hassan, along with the Code Pink co-founder Medea Benjamin, were both served with subpoenas from federal officials as part of a widening investigation into whether U.S. activists violated laws and sanctions while supporting Cuba's communist regime. This is probably what they're referencing regarding the Cuba trip back in March. Tone-deaf radicals flock into Havana, staying in 5-star hotels while island in crisis. It's a mockery of Cuban people. And yeah, even when there was massive power outages occurring across Cuba, this 5-star hotel that Hassan was apparently staying at still had electricity on while he was doing his show. Back in March, this got him a lot of criticism. A lot of people.
There's nothing that says champagne socialist like this right here, man. Like, holy crap, what a horrible human being he is.
We're talking about this, and now apparently related to the same trip, he's now getting this subpoena. And as mentioned, his viewers are now attempting to spin this subpoena as a dub. In the clip you're about to see, you'll see that, and he's not happy with them. He's not happy about any of this. Now, of course, we'll have to wait and see where this actually goes, but here's how they are taking the news.
I know you usually let the work of rallying the orgs you support, but in case they try to bring you to court, you should definitely consider coordinating with orgs you've been pushing and try to publicly mobilize your community and not only your defense, but use yourself as an example that the admin is hunting down real pro-American voices like Medea. Show them that your emotion goes beyond being a Twitter power user that's buddies with Elon's exes. Dude, sometimes I welcome rotting for the rest of my life in a fucking federal penitentiary rather than having to deal with long-term community members who have like unbelievably snide remarks even in this fucking moment. Like, what the fuck, dude? What? You're giving me advice on something that you don't know if I'm doing or not, okay? And then also you have to slap me with a fucking backhand and be like, all you technically do is just, hang out with Elon Musk's exes, dude. Why don't you do some real fucking organizing? Well, bitch, I did. Okay. And guess what? The government was like, we're throwing your ass in jail. Fuck you. Okay. What do you want me to do? Not an ideal way to add to your lore. I know. You can't pay for this kind of publicity, fam. Okay, guys, I'll be honest. I prefer not to have this publicity. Okay. If you think that this is just like, it's good. I know some of you are looking for a silver lining in this situation, but this is not good. Okay. There is no world where having to deal with like a federal case is actually a good moment. I would much rather not have to deal with this at all. Okay.
I mean, let's just remind everyone that you said that America deserved 9/11. You actually said that. There's a comment about I don't want to repeat what he said about like some other he was basically have calls for violence. I don't want to repeat word for word what he was saying because I don't want the YouTube censors to pick that up. But this is who he is.
Problem is the Dem leadership hates the left too. Yeah, but this is one of those moments where they actually do have to say something because they understand that. I mean, who knows? Who knows? That, of course, is going to turn me into a major villain. It's Elon Musk's platform. He fucking despises me, right? And these guys have seen it on their algorithms so much that they're defending the Trump administration. They're actively supporting the Trump administration, not just harming a person that they perceive to be an enemy, but harming themselves. Because when I swing from the gallows, I won't be there alone. Okay? You will be there. They'll put you up there too. This is not about radical commentary. This is not about communism. This is not about socialism. This is about dissent. Dissent against a fascist government. It will not stand.
And that takes us to Aspen Gold reacting to a different clip of Hassan talking about the initial news before the one that you saw earlier.
This is a person who's built their entire career on bullshitting. You constantly misinterpret people. You constantly make up lies about people. All the time you do that.
All the time. This is what he does. And he's not the only one, but he's probably the most famous one.
And so now, finally, maybe this is happening to you. Shouldn't have done it.
They're after your boy. They're up my ass.
Yeah.
And I'll obviously get into it right now, but let me blast off real quick.
Blast off?
We will free you, brother. Yeah, free me.
Blast off. What does that even mean? It sounds like he was like gonna like, hit some weed or something. Like, let me blast off first, dog. What does that even mean?
People all the time you do that. And so now, finally, maybe this is happening to you. Shouldn't have done it.
They're after your boy. They're up my ass.
Yeah.
And I'll obviously get into it right now, but let me blast off real quick.
Blast off?
We will free you, brother. Yeah, free me. Free me. Free me.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying that.
He's not happy, but this is... Jesus Christ.
The news is not great. Okay?
Man.
I mean, it's bullshit.
He wants to be a martyr. See, most people want to be martyrs until they're about to be martyrs. And then...
free me. I can't believe I'm saying that.
It's a reason why they're doing an investigation. Because if they thought that if they thought that he deserved jail time, they wouldn't have done a subpoena. They would have arrested him. They would have charged him with something. So they don't know that. That's why they're doing a subpoena to look into it and investigate it to figure out what's true and what's not. So I don't think that anybody should draw conclusions.
That is the latest.
So what's interesting is just a couple of days prior to this news dropping, Hassan was doing IRL streams with Ashley St. Clair, and she brought him a hoodie. You want to talk about awkward?
What is
This is a hoodie.
You got me a hoodie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put this down here. Oh God, what's gonna be in this hoodie? This is gonna be. Let's see.
You ready? Are you ready, chat?
Oh God. Oh no. I'm not even gonna see it first. Chat's gonna see it before I do.
I've been sent by Benjamin Netanyahu to get his Twitter account banned.
This is
Like she's a psychopath. She's legitimately crazy, dude. It's insane. And then she's talking about this.
You mentioned that there were some things that took place with Doge, specifically as it pertains to the last election. What did you mean by that? Like, what's going on there? Did Elon play a role in stealing the 2024 election? I'm not a.
So all I know is what he has sent me and what his engineers and employees have told me. But in October of 2024, he sent me text, which you can look at if you want. You want to read the text?
Sure. Why not?
Here, I'm not making this space laser shit up. And everyone's like, oh my God, she sounds so crazy. I'm like, well, this is what he said. I don't know what to tell you guys. On iMessage of all places.
Well, I don't think, Apple is going to, I mean.
Okay, but don't read my pick me stuff.
Okay, it's fairly.
Because I was being pick me. Okay, wait. This was October 5th, 2024.
What the fuck does that even mean?
So I have a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Ladies, whenever you're involved with a dude, it doesn't matter who the dude is, he's going to oversell everything because he wants to sleep with you. So he's going to oversell. He's going to talk shit. Welcome to how the male mind works. We're just going to say whatever the hell we can say to impress you so we can get what we want. Welcome to the real world.
Yeah, you tell me.
Wait, why does he actually talks like this?
Yes, he actually talks like this. And I wasn't being hyperbolic when I said
Can I read this one?
Yes, you can read the whole thing.
Okay.
You can read anything except my pick-me-isms.
Okay, I'm feeling more optimistic after tonight. And tomorrow.
So notice how we can read Elon's cringy things, but we can't read her cringy things in the same exact conversation. That is a perfect example of how a crazy leftist would operate. Like, I want to take my comments out of this so we can frame these comments without any context so that we can tell everyone he's crazy.
We unleash the anomaly in the matrix. And then this is not something on the chessboard, so they will be quite surprised. In air quotes, lasers from space. What? And you made a joke. And
It was a Marjorie Taylor Greene joke.
yeah, you made a Jewish space laser joke.
I said finally a focus on the Jewish vote.
And he laughed at it. And then I have over 10,000 lasers in space right
so
now.
he doubles down and says and quantifies his number of space lasers.
I'm reading your text messages back.
But I was like, I don't want to be deposed.
Oh God, you literally sound like
Just
him.
stop.
You
Just
sound.
stop.
You
Just
changed
stop.
the way you talk.
I
to
told you I was
sound
so
exactly
pick me.
like
I was
him.
so pick me.
None of this makes Elon sound bad. She is making herself look terrible. She's making herself look horrible.
You're using the
It
terminology.
was so bad. Don't even.
That's crazy.
Don't. I was so pick me. It's like it makes me want to throw up and die.
Simulation.
Stop.
Badass
stop.
sci-fi
But
drama.
Stop it. But I said I don't want to be deposed. And what does he say? I was like, I would ask more, but I don't want to be deposed.
You should have asked.
Okay,
him.
no. You stop.
Oh, what the fuck? You guys send memes to each other? You're so lame. Oh my God. I can't believe he literally like, this is.
That's enough.
That is the most. Wait, he's Gen X, right? I don't know. That's the most millennial ass like text message. Aren't you Gen Z?
Yeah.
That's nasty. That was way worse than you trying to talk like him in your text messages. That is like sending like epic memes. Wow.
Oh my gosh. The cringe is off of the charts, man. So Hassan, listen, man, I don't know the specifics of all of this, but I mean, this guy has clearly shown how much he hates the United States. And, we'll see what happens with it. But he seems very, very worried. He seems very worried. We got Cam Man for 20. He says the only thing more gay than the quartering drama is begging another man for a G.I. Joe, is paying another man to promote his birthday stream at 9 p.m. Eastern and ask people to sub to his channel. It just broke 800 subs. Can Man, happy birthday. And Can Man, who you can drop a link to your channel, has a birthday stream tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. And he just broke 800 subs. Hail to Can Man. And happy birthday. Everybody in the chat wish Can Man a happy birthday. Heir to the Empire says blast off tax. Blast off tax. Lord Bothus says conspiracy theory. Hassan got the feds to put a case on him to escape being trapped by Ashley St. Clair. Honestly, wouldn't be a bad idea. Predon Corpse with 3 kicks. Thank you, Predon Corpse. Hail to you. Yes, she is definitely desperate. Big time. Right here, hang on just a minute. Musk's ex says nearly every MAGA influencer is on a foreign payroll.
MAGA influencers, the official Trump war room, all of these people are within these group chats and being told exactly what to say. During the campaign, they also had campaign calls with influencers such as myself in which they said, hey, here's how we want to respond to things. Here's the messaging.
I want to make it very clear right now. I am not on any payroll, period. And I'm going to tell you why. I've probably shouldn't say this publicly, but I'm going to be very, very transparent here. The reason that I have never been on any payroll for any MAGA influencers is because I haven't been asked. It's not to do with morals or fucking standards or whatever. I just haven't been asked. So hit me up. I'm a free agent. So, hit me up in the DMs and we'll see what happens.
That we're going to stay on. Good work,
Follow
soldiers.
the money.
Was there ever anyone expressing behind the
Zwanny Cast owns you.
scenes? This feels a little bit weird.
Not really.
And then who's this? If there's paid campaigns, who is paying for those campaigns?
Everyone and anyone. And what's
everyone in, like, name names. Who's paying? I want to know so I can hit them up.
astonishing is some of these funding methods are hidden through various different companies or consulting firms. So you really don't know where a lot of the money is coming from. And these also have paid trips to Israel, paid trips to Russia. There's Qatari money flowing in and out. So much Qatari money in Republican politics that just you'll never find because it's laundered.
Well, there you go. So that's the latest from Elon's ex. She's trying to stay relevant. I respect it. Got to do something, right? So, we got Dark Red Knight says you're on our payroll. Hell yeah, let's freaking go. That's the only payroll I'm on. Matt Frog says Elon has Tiger Woods taste in women. You're a billionaire. Act like it. To be fair, acting like a billionaire would require snorting coke off of really, really untrustworthy women's ass. So he's kind of is acting like a billionaire. That's kind of what billionaires do. Billionaires basically hook up with all the wrong women and then they pay them to go away. So that's kind of what they do. So, what up, Laughing Man? Yeah, I mean, so you're a billionaire, act like it. That kind of is how they are. So let me see here. What is this right here? Okay, hang on. United States has carried out self-defense strikes. Let's see. The strikes targeted missile launch strikes and fast bores attempting to lay mines, CENTCOM says.
And we have breaking news. Explosions rock Iran. U.S. Central Command just confirming that U.S. forces targeted Iranian military facilities responsible for launching a series of attacks against American warships in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian state media had reported blasts that were heard in the border city of Bandar Abbas. That's home to a key Iranian naval and air base along the strait. Iranian state media also reporting explosions in other cities as well. The attacks coming as intense discussions are underway tonight to end the war in Iran, but a deal is not in place. Iran's top security official declaring tonight, quote, there will be no retreat. And we have breaking news. Explosions rock Iran. U.S.
There's
Central
that.
Command just confirmed.
So there's going to be a lot more that's going to be happening throughout the evening, I'm sure. Interesting times. Now, I did see this. Russell Crowe loses his cool with fans waiting for autographs. Stay where you are. Don't effing push on me. I'll come to you. Okay.
Hi, Russell. How are you doing?
Are you listening? Yes. Stay where you are. Don't fucking push in on me. I'll come to you. Just give everybody space. As soon as somebody's a dick, I'm going. You got me?
Yes.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, I don't see where he lost anything. First of all, we have to understand, let's get this out of the way. Majority of those people are not fans. The majority of those people are people that are trying to get his autograph so they can go sell it. That's it. Now we're 20 seconds into it. I haven't seen where he lost his cool. This seems very, very like level-headed as far as I'm concerned.
If you can add Maximus, maybe. Can you add Maximus, please? Can you add Maximus? Maximus, please? No.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is here. So this is a problem with like so many people just react to headlines. Like Russell Crowe loses his cool with fans waiting for autographs. No, he didn't. He did absolutely nothing wrong. He's laying the foundation saying, hey, stay where you are. Don't fucking push on me. I'll come to you. Give everybody space. As soon as somebody's a dick, I'm gone. There's literally nothing wrong with anything he said or did in that particular clip at all. And by the way, most of those are just people they're just autograph seekers. They're not even fans. They're just out there to try to get his autograph so they can resell it or put it on eBay or some shit like that. Yeah, he didn't even raise his voice, Laughing Man. So that's bullshit. I don't see where there's any issue, but a lot of people are going to react to that just by the headline, and they're going to be like, oh, I can't believe this, blah, 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 blah. So it's ridiculous. There's nothing wrong with that. Hail Russell Crowe. Freaking legend. Absolute legend. Russell Crowe. Let's see. Oh, did I read that one? Lord Botha. Oh, I got that one. Yeah, Lord Botha. Thank you for the 5. I appreciate it. And then Mad Frog with that one. Yeah, Elon is acting like a billionaire. Yeah, like another headline. Look at this shit. Russell Crowe loses it on fans in Paris. No, he did not. Is this all we're doing? Is this the same clip? Yes, 42 seconds. What the hell has he got on? Did he spill chili on his shirt? What's going on there? But what the hell is this headline? This is insane. Nah, he crashed out. No, he did not. If you call that a crash out, you have never you have never dealt with anybody tough in your life. If you think that's a crash out, that was mild. There was nothing wrong with that at all. Can you show us Bale? Now that's a crash out, and it's fucking awesome. Again, I've said many times, Christian Bale is my favorite actor. If I ever meet Christian Bale, I can only hope to get cussed out by him. If I don't get cussed out by Christian Bale, I'll be very, very disappointed. I'll be like, dude, what are we doing? Come on, Christian. You gotta yell at me. You gotta tell me you're gonna trash my lights. We're done professionally. It's the greatest moment ever, man. It really is. It's one of my favorite things ever, and I've never been more proud of my favorite actor than that moment right there. One of a career-defining moment. Hey, really quick, I need to say that I haven't talked about this too much yet, but we gotta hype this movie up. This Obsession movie. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. Obsession. It's this new movie out. Everybody's got to go check this thing out, man. So right now on Critic List, it is sitting at a 82 or 86%. All right. So Obsession. It's this new horror movie from a YouTuber. I went to see it. It was made for $750,000. And it has officially crossed $75 million at the worldwide box office. Let me just say, so good. All right. I didn't know what to expect. I went into this movie not knowing anything about it. I didn't watch a trailer. I knew nothing of the premise. All I knew was it was a horror movie made by a YouTuber. I don't know the YouTuber. It is, I'm not going to say it's like one of the greatest films I've ever seen or anything like, but because it's not, but it's just, it's good. It's a solid movie that was made for $750,000. And it's now it's going to cross over $100 million at the box office. If you go over to Critic List, right here, Obsession is sitting at an 86% from the audience with 49 votes. So yeah, man, it's really good. And this is my review that I put out for it. Had no idea what to expect going into this movie, but I was very impressed. A horror movie with a minimal budget from a YouTuber, and this proves all you need is passion for your project. I won't go into specifics of the movie because I think you should go into it as blindly as I did. I didn't watch any trailers. I didn't know any of the details. Legitimately impressed. There are two scenes specifically that actually made me jump. The acting is very good. The script is extremely tight, and you can feel the tension. I was hooked from beginning to end. It never let me go. We need more films like this. Authenticity and passion. That's all we're asking for. Independent creators and independent media is the future. And this movie was, man, I was shocked how good it was. And it's sitting on at 86% on Critic List right now. And my review was an 85%. So yeah, highly recommended. And this guy just did with $750,000 what Hollywood can't do with $200 million fucking dollars. And Backrooms is going to be next week, right? Is Backrooms coming out next week? Is it scary? I don't know if I would call it like Conjuring scary. It's creepy. And there's one person in the movie Obsession. She's phenomenal. All right. You've probably, if you've seen the trailers or any of the previews, there's a girl in the movie, legitimately creepy, man. She does such a good job. Now, if you're a guy and you've ever, I don't know, if you ever hung out with some crazy chicks in your life, you'll probably relate a bit. You'll probably relate a bit if you've hung out with a few crazy women before, and you'll be like, Yep. I know that moment right there, but it's wild. It's very good premise. I very much enjoyed it. So yeah, man. And there's two parts specifically that made me jump, and I was in theater and I jumped and I was like, holy crap. I think everybody's going to know one of the scenes if you've seen the movie, but there's another one too. Really, really good. We'll talk more about it on Tuesday night's main event. We'll probably get into some of the details. So Jeremy should make a horror movie called Retail. You know what? I'm not even going to lie. If this guy made this for $750,000, do you think we could crowdfund $1 million? I'm I'm not even joking right now. I would make a retail movie, a horror movie about overweight black women yelling at you over their EBT payments. It would be the greatest thing ever, dude, where you're like, you go into work and you're like, yeah, I haven't had a great day. You go to clock in and suddenly Shaniqua starts yelling at you because the Oreo cookies aren't EBT friendly. And you're like, I have nothing to do with this shit. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I have nothing to do with what's on EBT or not. And she just starts yelling at you, calling you like racist names. And you're just like, I don't make any decisions. Oh, that would be great. 100%. I legit could make a good horror movie based in retail, though. I really could. Sounds like Clerks. Clerks is one of my favorite movies. And this is the thing, like when people keep talking about Kevin Smith, or they keep talking about Christopher Nolan, they're like, oh, Christopher Nolan's never made a good movie because they're mad about the Odyssey. Shut the fuck up. It's kind of like with Kevin Smith. I don't like Kevin Smith anymore. I used to love Kevin Smith, but I don't like him anymore. It will never take away from the greatness, though, that he gave us. Kevin Smith gave us what, like maybe 5 or 6 really good comedies. You know, Clerks 1, Clerks 2, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Like, he's Mallrats. Like, nothing will change my opinion of what Kevin Smith gave us. Nothing. But we live in this world now where people are like, Christopher Nolan's never made a good movie. You're like, you're an idiot. All right. I can't take you seriously if you say shit like that. Like, you can not be happy for the Odyssey and not be excited. And we'll see what turns out, because I think the criticism is valid. But to retroactively say Nolan's never made a good movie is fucking wild. Let's see. Christopher Nolan needs to take accountability. Well, I think the audience it's going to be up to the audience for that. We'll see. I'm not convinced that the Odyssey is going to flop at any capacity. I think Odyssey is still going to make a lot of money. And I think a lot of people are going to look stupid by saying it's going to flop. But the criticism is 100% valid. And look, the Odyssey deserves to fail on premise alone for casting Ellen Page and Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy. 100%. I'm here with you on that. I'm just telling you, I don't think it's going to happen. Red State. Holy shit. That was a Kevin Smith movie. What was the other one too? I've asked about it before. The one where the guy turns into a fucking walrus or whatever. What was that one? Tusk? Is that what it's called? Tusk? That was a weird one right there. Kevin Smith says some weird shit. Yeah, Tusk. But yeah, Clerks 1. I actually prefer Clerks 2 to Clerks 1. But yeah, like, I think that there's probably, I'm being serious about this. Crowdfund to do a movie. We get $1 million. If somebody has a retail store that we could use to record in during their off hours or something like that, I think we could pull that off. I think we could absolutely pull that off. That would be fantastic. But we'll see. But anyway, congratulations to Curry Barker. Don't know who he is, but what an accomplishment with this movie, man. Like, absolutely fantastic. I'd be down for that. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. JRL says, hello, Jeremy. As always, thanks for the laughs and the memes. Hail the Snake Pit in the 199. Also, have you checked out the music tournament? Have a blessed evening. Not with all the traveling. I'm just now kind of getting back in the fold. But we should be able to check that out pretty soon. Let's see. Pacnanima says, PSA, 99% of all Israeli foreign aid is required to be spent on U.S. military goods and services, essentially laundering tax dollars to donors and politicians. Mod Eric says, raid the Cam Man's birthday stream after you finish this stream. And then next up, we've got, let's see. Hang on. Oh, wow. Hang on. Here's another update. Obsession is pulling off something almost unheard of at the box office. After debuting to $17 million domestically, the horror hit actually increased its earnings by 30% in its second week, a rare feat for any movie, let alone a horror movie. So it is increased by 30%. Are you freaking kidding me? Made for just $750,000, Obsession is now barreling towards $100 million worldwide, putting them in the same conversations as breakout horror phenomenon like Paranormal Activity and the Blair Witch Project. That is crazy. Up 30% in your second week is damn near unheard of. That's the power of word of mouth right there. That's it. How Obsession became an unprecedented horror hit. An A- grade on Cinema Score exit polls at 94% of Rotten Tomatoes, 75% of audience between 18 and 25, cryptic billboards featuring unsettling text, voice notes, and deliveries alongside a phone number inviting fans to reach out. This is authenticity. This is what people want. I know nothing about this YouTuber. I don't care about it. All I care is that I saw the movie. It's really good. This girl's performance is phenomenal. She is the show stealer. But it's not just about her. It's the writing of the character. Like, her performance is incredible. Okay. But it's the writing of the character. It's really impressive. So yes, I hope everybody goes and checks it out. And this is what we need, man. We need more of this. And I'm inspired just from the fact that this dude pulled it off with $750,000. Like, I'm not a filmmaker, but I know some. And it tells me, like, okay, like, dude, if this guy can pull this off with $750,000, there's a chance. Like, it's a well shot movie. It's well done. Everything is on point. Let's see. Granite's Potato says, I'm Mr. Beast, and I just bought this grocery store so that Jeremy from G&G can make his retail horror movie. I'd love, dude. That's one thing I think I could pull off. If I got with a person that could write a script, I think I can make a really good horror movie based in retail. I really think I could pull that shit off. So, creative tools have never been cheaper. It's true. Now, Obsession is just showing up all on my timeline now because I talked about it. Jeez, man. I swear. The algorithm is way too aggressive. Way too aggressive. It's actually scary how aggressive it is. On the flip side, The Mandalorian Grogu needs to make between $500 and $600 million globally to land in the black. It ain't gonna happen. Laughing Man says, is it diverse though? You're talking about Obsession. Let me just say, no diversity in this movie. I'm just saying, okay? No diversity in this movie. Is that why I liked it? I don't know, but no diversity in the movie. So there you have it, all right? No diversity, no awards. Absolutely. Yep, it won't win any awards. No, it won't. As God intended, yes. No forced diversity. Yeah, and again, that's the problem, and this is the problem with Hollywood, is there's truly nothing wrong with diversity. You're selling it well, says Mad Frog. There's nothing wrong with diversity. There's everything wrong with forced diversity. I grew up watching movies that when I watch these movies, like, I never looked at it and says, oh, they're just shoehorning in different, races and genders so they can hit their check marks. I never said that with movies from the 80s and the 90s. But now you watch a major budget Hollywood movie and it's this glaring thing that's just there. And again, The Odyssey is a classic example of that. The Odyssey is overrun with forced diversity. And this is why so many people are pissed off about it. Go back to the Odyssey with Armand Asante. Vanessa Williams plays Calypso in that. Did anybody have a problem with Vanessa Williams playing Calypso? No. Do you know why? Because Vanessa Williams was hot. All right? Like, right here. And that's a very good version of the Odyssey. So like right here, Yeah, like, did anybody have a problem with Vanessa Williams? No. Nobody had a problem with Vanessa Williams. Yeah, nobody was complaining about that, were they? Because diversity is not the problem. I think she was Calypso. Am I right about that? Who the hell did she play? Yeah, she played Calypso in that. Yeah, I got to watch it again. It's been a while. So yeah, man, nobody was complaining about her because why would they? Nobody's going to complain about Vanessa Williams. But of course, now here we are, and we have, hang on, we got shit like, oh boy. 2004 Troy, 2026 forced diversity. Even Christopher Nolan has fallen to forced diversity. Even identity politics has gotten to Christopher Nolan. The sad, sad reality of where we are. I mean, how does this happen, man? And again, I have no problem with people calling this out and being upset about it. They should. I have a problem with people retroactively acting like that Inception's not good, or Memento's not good, or The Prestige is not good, or Interstellar's not good, or the Dark Knight trilogy. What are we talking about? Oppenheimer's not good. Fuck off. That's just a retarded take. This is like a Mad TV parody. It really is. And that's where the message has to be. The message has to be that even the most powerful man in Hollywood cannot succeed with identity politics. That's the message right there. And we'll see what happens. So I still think it's going to be hugely successful. This will be his first flop. I got news for you, brother. I don't think that's going to happen, but I won't be upset if it does, but I just don't think it will be. Because the reality of it is these decisions right here, like, Ellen Page is going to be in the movie for one scene and have like a couple of lines. Lupita Nyong'o is going to be in the movie for a couple of scenes and a couple of lines. That's really it. They're going to be in like 2% of the movie. But that will be what people focus in on, and rightfully so, they should. Where are we at here? Got there. Over on, let's see, Rumble, we got the veteran at Kerry Sharon, who had the Trump flag, was beaten by a leftist. Died today from his injuries. I am sure Soros, DA, and judge will let the attacker go. Holy crap. I didn't even hear about that. Diane Kruger and Norman Reedus are engaged and have a daughter, not married. Really? Wait a minute. I didn't know that. Shane Smith says, Oppenheimer was boring, pretentious crap that goes on for way too long. I'd say watch TikTok then. Like, I don't know how you think Oppenheimer was pretentious. Oppenheimer was fucking phenomenal. But if you have a TikTok brain and you just want, bright lights and explosions, then it's not really for you. But yeah, I mean, Oppenheimer was fucking fantastic, dude. If you think Oppenheimer was boring and pretentious, then I download TikTok, because that, to me, or just watch. And again, no disrespect to Michael Bay, but you just need like Michael Bay explosions, pretty colors, and all of that. Like, it was 3 hours of dialogue and very nonlinear storytelling, and it was freaking fantastic. Let me see. Yes, Daryl from The Walking Dead. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Another one I didn't see, thank God. 3 hours, nope. Yeah, I mean, I wish Oppenheimer would have been 4 hours, to be honest. The movie moves fast. It's a very fast-paced movie. Mod Eric says Odyssey's going to make $500 or $600 million instead of the $1.5 billion it would have made. Well, I don't think anybody said that Oppenheimer was going to make. That the Odyssey was going to make $1.5 billion. That's an insane That's an insane thing when Nolan's never had a movie ever to make 1.5 billion. I think that the best estimate for Odyssey, highest ceiling prior to the controversy, was it could have made $1 billion. Could have. It was not guaranteed, but it could have made $1 billion. 1.5 billion. Christopher Nolan's never made 1.1 billion in his career. So to assume that this is going to make 1.5 is fucking crazy. So, but I think 1 billion definitely was in play, and it still probably is in play. 600 million. I think 500 million is the absolute lowest it can make, but I think it's going to be probably between $700 and $800 million. I think Dune will be Odyssey. Probably not, but I am looking forward to Dune 3. The Dark Knight Rises made $1 billion 14 years ago. Yes. Nolan has $2 billion films, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. That's it. Oppenheimer came about $25 million short of hitting $1 billion. Inception made like $800 million. Interstellar made like $700 million. So the best Batman was Tim Burton's 89. Well, I love Batman 89. But I prefer Bale's Batman, but I love Batman 89. Danny says it will make $2 trillion in Zimbabwe dollars. How much is that? Aaron Adams says the U.S. has finally attacked Iran again. Let me go to a live feed and see what exactly is going on over there. Let me see here. Hang on. Let's go to here. 40 cents. Let's see here. Do we have any? So what's going on? I'm trying to look and see. Is that Gary Sneese right there? That looks like Gary Sneese. Hell yeah. Lieutenant Dan in the house. I'm trying to see if we have any live feed of what's going on, though. Got that one. Lieutenant Dan. I'm looking to see what we have. By the way, I have to talk about one thing that happened over the weekend, which was one of the saddest things ever. And that was, Kyle Busch was obviously passed away last week, and NASCAR honored him. And one of the most incredible parts of it was that his entire family was there. I was not expecting that at all, but it was a pretty powerful moment. So right here, this is NASCAR CEO with the microphone. You've got Richard Childress there on the opposite side of him, who was the car owner for Kyle Busch. And this is Kyle's wife and son. I couldn't believe that they were there. It was incredibly powerful. Kurt, his brother, and his parents were there, and that was pretty tough, man. That was a pretty tough scene, and I really couldn't believe it. But NASCAR did a great job. I have seen a lot of people trying to take shots at Erica Kirk over this whole thing because they're like, "This is how a grieving widow should be," and I'm like, dude, is that really your angle here? You're going to bring Erica Kirk into it? Like, that's crazy. But I do want to play this clip because this right here, NASCAR is trying to get back to its roots. And I'm happy to see that. They still have a huge problem, in my opinion, which is Bubba Smollett, who's a piece of shit. But this is not the time for that. But this was a really cool moment.
No one ever feels fully prepared to speak at a moment like this. And I think we can all agree that this was Kyle Busch's home. Every racetrack was Kyle Busch's home. He competed like he had something to prove every single race, when in reality, he'd already proven everything. What I think we'll miss most isn't the wins. It's the guy who quietly wanted to help a teammate or give some advice.
So right here, this is his mom and dad right here. And there's Kurt, his brother, who is also a NASCAR driver, who's in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And obviously here's Brexton and Samantha, his wife and son, and Richard Childress.
Who's the husband, the father, or the guy who quietly did things for others when no one was watching. And to the Bush family, Tom, Gay, Kurt, all the folks at RCR and JGR, we are certainly thinking about you. Samantha, I want you to know that this sport stands with you.
See right here, this is the part that really got me, because as a man, as a husband, as a father, the one thing that you want in life more than anything is to have the comfort to know that if anything ever happens to you, your family is taken care of. Any man in the audience can attest to that. That is truly like what you want, that your family and loved ones are taken care of if anything ever happens to you. This line right here says it all.
Samantha, I want you to know that this sport stands with you and that you and your children are NASCAR family forever. And Brexton and Lennox, your dad loved you with all his heart. Everyone gathered here, everyone behind you, everybody watching on TV, and all those people up in that grandstand are your family, and we've got you. Kyle Busch is NASCAR. He was one of a kind, and there will never be another. And I'd ask everybody now to join us in a moment of silence for Kyle.
Good stuff right there. So, yeah, I just wanted to show that because this news kind of transcended the world of sports. And, I haven't been paying as much attention to NASCAR, not as much as I used to, but I was a Kyle Busch fan. I wasn't a fan of Kyle to the level that I was with Tony Stewart or Dale Earnhardt. But yeah, of all the active guys, Kyle was the guy that I followed the most, and I loved his attitude on and off the track. So this is a shock, and it's a wake up call. I've been actually a little freaked out by the whole thing because Kyle, for those that don't know, last weekend Kyle Busch won his last race. He was active. He was walking around. He was at his son's birthday party 2 days before he died. He was taking pictures. He was hanging out at racetracks. And then suddenly he just fell ill. He was 41 years old, and he suddenly just fell ill. And it turns out that he had pneumonia, which turned into sepsis, and it got into his bloodstream and done. Like, took him out. It freaks me out. It freaks me out. I don't understand a lot of that. So obviously, anytime I feel just slightly like, if I've got like just in the past couple of days, if I've even feel like I've got a cold or something, I freak the hell out. And yeah, man, so sorry. He was sick at Watkins Glen. Yeah, so there's obviously, you go back to where when he was at Watkins Glen, he radioed in and said he was sick. It's just that, if you see like his last victory, like 5 days before he died, he won a race. It's crazy. And now he's just not here. It just happened so quickly. And it shows you how fragile life is. And trying to find it. His last victory. Let me see if I can find it really quick. just so everybody has the full context. I'm sure I can find it if I just search right here. Last win. So this was like just a few days prior to him. This is just a few days before he died. This is him celebrating his final victory.
And a bow in front of the fans that are all on their feet down here at the Monster Mile. And Michael Waltrip said earlier in the race that a confident Kyle Busch is a dangerous Kyle Busch. Your 69th victory in this series, your 5th right here. Why do these moments never get old, Kyle?
Because you never know when the last one is, you know. So I know all too well, unfortunately, with the Cup stuff, but you know, here with the truck stuff right now is it's awesome just to be a part of Spire Motorsports. Thanks to Jeff and Dan and Mr. H for the opportunity. HendrickCars.com. I'm sure it looked great out front leading the race, and it wasn't just Kyle Larson doing it. So you know, feels good to have another Kyle being able to do it and putting ourselves in victory lane. So love coming to Dover. Always one of my favorite places to race, and definitely some managing of the fuel there, managing of the tires there, and you know, it was an interesting, just kind of strategic battle, I guess, from the driver's seat. And, you know, thanks to all the fans. Appreciate everybody for being here at Dover and the Monster Mile for All-Star Weekend. We thank you. And hopefully we have another great O'Reilly race tomorrow and an even better Cup race on Sunday.
Absolutely crazy. Like, absolutely insane. So, I don't even know how to process that. Now, we're going to switch gears because I'm trying to follow this stuff that's going on right now with Trump and Iran, but I'm trying to get details right now. So let's see where we're at. Okay, right here. Iran was just struck by the U.S. after the IRGC got caught laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Here we go.
Were heard in the border city of Bandar Abbas. That's home to a key Iranian naval and air base along the strait. Iranian state media also reporting explosions in other cities as well. The attacks coming as intense discussions are underway tonight to end the war in Iran, but a deal is not in place. Iran's top security official declaring tonight, quote, "There will be no retreat." And there's this from President Trump.
These incredible men and women gave their lives to ensure that the world's #1 state sponsor of terror will never have a nuclear weapon. Oh, and they won't.
Were heard in the border city of Bandar.
There you have it. So again, this is what we're dealing with. So like I said earlier, when Trump made that, I said, like, we have to determine, is he publicly negotiating or is he trying to put more pressure on them? What exactly is going on right now? This is who you're dealing with. And again, I go back to my original comment where I said, you know, we have never had a president who's willing to tackle this issue. The reason that we've never had a president who's willing to tackle this issue is because it's so complicated. It's such a messy, messy, messy circumstance that you find yourself in, and nobody wanted to deal with it. Trump is the only person that wanted to deal with it. And so here we are. And you have a lot of people that are crying about it and they're upset about it and they're emotionally broken. And, you know, what do you expect? So Trump is the greatest president. I agree completely. I agree. Okay. Let me see where I've left off. Net Steeler says, let's rewrite people shilling for the new Helen as a Trump supporter and see how they like that. Can you see Lupita saying Orange Man good? Joe C says, you're on to something. You make your own retail version of Employee of the Month or Clerks. Get on it. I don't know if I can raise $1 million, but I mean, I definitely would like to try. Stephen with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Stephen. Hail to you, brother. Aaron Adams says the U.S. I got that one. Danny says it will make $2 trillion in Zimbabwe dollars. Keckler says real problem is very few people even know who Nolan is or care. I don't really know what you mean by that. So, the problem is very few people even know who Nolan is or care. I don't, in reference to what? Like, he's a proven box office juggernaut. So, in terms of the movie world, everybody knows who he is. He doesn't carry like Steven Spielberg did back in the 80s and 90s, but he's still huge. So, TJ says, I have massive respect for Sinise. When he was becoming Lieutenant Dan, he was really affected by the struggle vets go through when they come home. He's an awesome guy. He's an awesome guy. Zenny Biscuit says, when this stream started, I was getting ready for dance and just got back. That much news. I mainly wanted to catch up with everything and give a little more longer stream today because I didn't stream yesterday and I kind of wanted to stream yesterday. So wanted to make sure we got everything covered because, you know, the people deserve it. The people deserve it. So that's why. And I'm trying to make sure none of this other news is going to break before we end. Like Gary and Jeremy say, the last movie star. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's well. The last true movie star would have kind of been Tom Cruise, but right now, I mean, yeah, Nolan's the biggest movie star in Hollywood, big time. So big time. Also, I got to show you this because this happened earlier. I told you there was a lot to catch up on today, and it looks like the Democrats have deleted it. So first of all, let me see if I got to confirm if they've deleted it. I was told that they deleted it, but I don't know for sure. Because I know that Rapid Response 47 responded, but the Democrats really stepped in something, showing you who they are and what they're all about. They did delete it. Okay. So right here, today we honor all Americans who made the ultimate sacrifice, not in service to a person or party, but to their nation. Using these heroes' deaths for politics on Memorial Day is truly disgusting. Now, what exactly are you talking about? The Democrats tweeted this out right here. And they basically said, today we honor the American heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice in Trump's war with Iran. They were getting destroyed in the comment section for this. Just in, the Democrats have now deleted their vile and disgusting Memorial Day post politicizing the death of American heroes against President Trump. Quote, we honor the American heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice in Trump's war with Iran. It's here forever, the Democrats. You disgusting POS. This was what President Trump was doing today. Right here. Meanwhile, the Democrats are politicizing United States soldiers' deaths. So there you have it. That's the whole clip. Sorry. I would have finished if the whole clip would have had it. But yeah, this is who the Democrats are right here. So, well, whatever says, oh, brother, where art thou? Oh, brother, where art thou? Is a good version of the Odyssey. It is a good version of the Odyssey, and it's a good version that kind of makes you, like, it's not saying we're going to recreate the Odyssey, or this is like it's our spin on the Odyssey. Absolutely. Whereas Nolan is basically saying, well, this is Homer's Odyssey. No, it's not. No, it's not. Based on what we're seeing anyway. Eric K says JD needs a body double that looks more like him. That guy is not bigger with hair. You know what? This is who JD Vance is.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, again, they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Peak male right there. Peak physique right there from the great Vice President JD Advanced. Yeah, so they're getting called out a lot. Pete Hegseth reposted this. This is one of the most classless, disrespectful, and vile posts using Americans' fallen warriors as props to try and score cheap political points against President Trump. Their sacrifice should never be exploited, especially on Memorial Day. Yep. And they got crushed for it. Like, horrible, man. This is who they are. Never interrupt your enemy when they are making a mistake. Never do it. Unreal. Andrew for 20 says Pete Hegseth personally visited the families of the fallen buried in Section 60 at Arlington National Cemetery. He shook the hands of each of them and offered his respects. Got to shake his hand. Media not reporting it. Of course they are not. Of course they're not. But thank you for letting us know about that. And yeah, man. Why would the media do this? The media is the enemy of the people. They continue to be the enemy of the people. And they can't stand that Americans respect Pete Hegseth, respect President Trump. They can't stand it. Yeah, they're getting crushed now. Everybody's calling them out. They deleted this, but never issued an apology. Yep. Getting all the backlash they deserve. Man, the Twitter algorithm is aggressive. Very aggressive. Right here. Remember the fallen. We honor their sacrifice. We cherish the freedom they paid for with their lives. Memorial Day 2026, Arlington National Cemetery. Look at that. What a shot. That is awesome right there. Hell yeah. That's my president. That's my president. All right. Well, we're going to call it there. Thank you guys for hanging out. I do appreciate it. 3 hours and 17 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad. I did want to go live playing games, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. But we'll get back on. We're going to be on the grind all week. So thank you guys. Have him Memorial Day. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for hanging out for so long. Thank you for the likes, the super chats, and all the support. You guys have a good evening. Happy birthday to Cam Man, and we will talk to you later. Bye, everyone.